It is the first Friday of the month, and that means just one thing to our Hungry Hound: burgers and fries. He is taking an informal survey of some noteworthy joints around the region.
And they all have something in common: high-quality beef, hand-cut fries. This week he's focusing on a local company, just one location in the South Loop. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with the details and lots of food.
Lots of food as usual, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, our criteria is pretty simple. No major fast food chains, and burgers have to comprise at least 50% of the menu. There's been a wave of new options lately. Sonic now has a location in Aurora, while California-based Fat Burger opened a few weeks ago in Orland Park. But we prefer the small, independent feel at places like Epic Burger, a new South Loop burger joint where every detail has been carefully thought out. What makes a burger distinctive, unique? At Epic Burger, a new concept tucked beneath a college dorm in the South Loop, it's all about finding a niche.
I thought that there was either fast food or that there was full-service sit-down. I didn't see anything of quality that was in between.
And so Friedman found a source for all-natural, hormone and antibiotic-free meat with a good ratio of beef to fat. Each one is placed on the flat-top grill, then pressed thin to cook quickly and evenly. And that's not all.
We use fresh-baked buns, we use whole butter and toast them, fresh-cut fries, organic ketchup, sea salt, zero trans fat oil, nitrate-free bacon, and organic fried eggs to top our burgers.
Of course, that doesn't mean if you opt for a double with cheese, bacon, and a fried egg that it's going to be good for you. But consider their attention to detail with the fries. Instead of the usual Idaho russets, Friedman chose Kennebec spuds.
I just feel that it gives you a better, consistent potato. It's crispy, it's not greasy. I like the sugar to starch ratio, and we just get a lot of great reviews on our fries.
Cut in-house, they're first blanched, then fried a second time to order, ensuring crispness. Shakes and smoothies are made with all-natural ice cream or whole fruit and yogurt. They even offer turkey burgers. But the big difference is in the simplicity of the ingredients and the non-industrialized approach.
When people ask me what's the secret to your burgers, there really isn't a secret. It's just buying really good quality ingredients and not doing anything to them.
They also offer chicken sandwiches, and for vegetarians, a portobello mushroom sandwich. All burgers cost the same, just $5.99. Now, more information about our First Friday with Fries series, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. More information on the More ABC7. There you go, More ABC7, and then there's the Hungry Hound tab, and then that will link you to all of the stories and videos, or just really simply call the info line, 312-750-7096. Brought you a couple different burgers and fries here now. Beginning over here, we've got, with the shakes, of course. This has got everything here. The bacon, the fried egg, the cheese, yum, yum, yum. But on a whole wheat bun as opposed to a different bun.
Oh, it's so healthy.
Very healthy on the whole wheat. And then over here, obviously, I love these hand-cut fries with the smoothies. A milk and honey smoothie, a four-berry smoothie. Use all natural fruit. They're all fresh fruit. What do you think?
They are delicious.
Yeah,
yes.
good stuff.
That's like a good burger.
You can't tell here, but there are bites taken out of every single one.
Good. That was my intention. Now, coming up now, we know the first week of November. Also, a signal to fishermen. It is time for fresh Alaskan king crab. We're going to visit one local restaurant where they get in deliveries several times a week to keep up with the growing demand this time of year. It's my Friday night special tonight at 10. Talk about a good dynamic duo here. Burgers and
good.
crab.
Yeah, good. Really good.
Yeah,
okay, thanks, Steve. We'll be right back.
Sure.
It's the first Friday of the month, and our Hungry Hound, that means two things: burgers and fries.
Yum, yum. And he continues his monthly ode to those American icons with a visit to an Andersonville restaurant where music and personalities are as much a part of the experience as anything. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Sylvia. Hey, Karen. Yes, they are. Now, 36 years ago, Hamburger Mary's opened its doors in a predominantly gay section of San Francisco. Attention was paid to the soundtrack and the cleverly written menu, which features hefty, two-fisted burgers. There are now 7 locations around the country, one of which is in Andersonville. Barbara, Cher, and Judy Garland would be proud. You could say the burgers are bodacious at Hamburger Mary's in Andersonville, where every plate, it seems, arrives with a side order of shtick.
It's definitely a kind of hangout for the post-Will and Grace generation. It's definitely got a lot of gay clientele, but it's a place you can bring your straight friends, and families come all the time too.
Every burger begins the same, with a half pound of Angus beef on the grill. Turkey and chicken are 2 healthier options. Buns come from Ganella and are lightly toasted, always a plus.
They make a special bun just for us called the Mary Bun. It's a true brioche bun. and it just makes the burger taste great.
The Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger features a thick and sweet barbecue sauce, plus bacon, onion rings, and a combo of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheeses. The Big Kahuna Hawaiian Burger, also available with chicken, contains grilled pineapple, bacon, and cheese, plus a sweet teriyaki glaze. Every burger arrives with a sharp knife impaled into the center. You'll need it to cut these bad boys in half. And while most burgers cost $10, smaller appetites can opt for the Mini Marys at just $1.50 each. Mary does like to imbibe, so you can pair a Bloody Mary or a beer with your burger. Kids might be better off with a thick chocolate shake. Wright says the food matches the atmosphere. Fun, laid back, and not too serious.
Mary's a fun girl, and she likes a little kitsch, and you can definitely see it in the restaurant, in the decor, and also in the menu.
And Mary sure works a lot. She's open from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. every day with brunch on the weekends. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to all my stories and videos. Or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. Brought you a couple different burgers here.
Okay.
Starting with the Big Kahuna there. That's got the grilled pineapple, the teriyaki sauce, the two kinds of cheese, lettuce, pickles underneath there. Really good stuff with onion rings, of course. Next to it here, the Barbecue Bacon Cheeseburger on this side with the onion rings on top and the barbecue sauce, a little sweet cheese. And then over here, the black and blue boy with the blackened burger topped with some bacon and blue cheese.
Bacon and blue cheese.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
my gosh.
You know, if you're going to go, you might as well go.
I guess so.
When it comes to pizza, Chicago's known for its deep dish.
Of course, but our Hungry Hound has determined thin crust is more in vogue than ever, and he has found two new yet distinctive options that he says are worth checking out. Steve joins us now with details. Steve?
Yes, Linda and Sylvia, you're going to enjoy this one, definitely. Now, Southsiders swear by Vito and Nick's. Northside gourmands claim Spaccanapoli takes the true Neapolitan form. But a couple of new thin crust options fall into different categories. One offers more of a cracker-thin crust with dynamite toppings. The other, quite simply, makes my favorite thin crust in the city. Anytime you talk pizza in Chicago, there's going to be discussion and analysis. And yet the thin crust pies they're cranking out at Pizzeria Via Stato in River North don't seem to be stirring much debate. Uniformly cracker thin, they're the perfect snack with a glass of wine or a beer.
It's all about the heat. It's all about the bricks. You know, when you get that, when you achieve the heat and you have the bricks for the, for the bottom heat, you get the same results.
But it's also about the crust and the toppings. While the super thin crust isn't for everyone, it's hard to argue with fresh San Marzano tomatoes spread evenly across the dough, plus hand-pulled chunks of fresh mozzarella placed randomly across the top. Into a gas-fired deck oven, the pizzas only take about 3 or 4 minutes to bake. Finished with some garlic oil and a few fresh shards of torn basil, it's the simplest of snacks. Other good options include a white pizza stacked with both smoked and fresh mozzarella, plus roasted fingerling potatoes and tiny cubes of pancetta. After the pie is baked to a golden brown and the edges are crisp and slightly blistered, fresh rosemary is scattered across the top.
It's a very thin crust, so we want the right amount and high-quality toppings where, it just pops. It tastes really good.
The opposite experience in terms of both neighborhood and budget is the quietly unassuming Great Lake in Andersonville. Here, Nick Lessons makes just 5 types of pizza. That's it. But each one is an artisanal statement.
I just wanted to not be distracted from trying to make the best pizza that I could.
He certainly succeeds. His basic margarita begins with a hand-formed homemade dough. It's topped with the freshest layer of tomatoes, 4 discs of his homemade mozzarella, some sea salt, and a healthy drizzle of olive oil. His gas-fired oven hovers around 650 degrees, and it's clear when he removes the pies after just a few minutes that his dough is homemade. The crust is bubbly and blistered on both the outer rim and below. The interior maintains a good chew while not being overwhelmed by the toppings.
As far as the pizza goes, the bulk of my time went into trying to start out with making the best bread that I could. So to me, that was a foundation.
A foundation proudly supporting Spanish goat cheese and mushrooms, or a garden of fresh baby arugula, or a German-inspired pie with creme fraiche, smoked bacon, and onions. Lesson says, like any good pizza, it all depends on your crust.
If you have really good bread, then everything else is going to be elevated that much more.
Yummy. Pizzeria Via Stato is open for lunch and dinner, but Great Lake only open for dinner, although they open lunch on Saturdays. And a crucial note about those guys, they only have one table. It seats 8 people. However, their pizzas do reheat very well. Now, here's the information. Pizzeria Via Stato, 620 North State, 312-337-6634. And then Great Lake, 1477 West Balmoral, 773-334-9270. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. That's where you'll find the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to all of my stories and videos. Or call the info line, 312-750-7096. And brought you 2 kinds from both places. This is from Great Lake first. I really love this because the dough is outstanding on this Great Lake pizza.
Good.
And you can see underneath here, that's what you want to look for, that little blistered charcoal. I love that. Fresh mozzarella he makes in-house. Here's his beautiful cremini mushrooms with aged goat cheese underneath it. And then up here from Via Stato, more of a tavern style, kind of what you'd see at like Marie's Pizza on the north side. Really thin, you can have with a beer. It falls apart, that's okay. We've got the margarita here, and then the potato with pancetta and smoked and regular mozzarella next door to it.
Really good.
Much thinner. You could obviously eat a whole one of these by yourself.
It's good.
The Great Lake probably want to share with a person.
Yeah.
It's really good too.
Fresh mozzarella.
Fresh
made
mozzarella.
there.
He makes it himself. He gets the curds from Caputo's. It's serious. So,
Yummy.
okay, now tell about 10 at 10. Now, every neighborhood has its own favorite restaurants. We all know that. But one well-known area has been sorely lacking last couple of years. Until recently, we'll visit a pair of new and noteworthy restaurants in a neighborhood that is definitely glad to have them. It is my Friday night special tonight at 10. Don't ask me which one it was because I'll tell you later.
TiVo.
TiVo, yes.
The 28th annual Taste of Chicago is underway, and our Hungry Hound is there in the middle of it all.
He's ready for a full day of eating, and he leads off the day with a preview of some of the new tastes this year. Steve Dolinsky joins us live from Taste with Details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. You know, I've been covering this for at least 10-plus years, and every year it's beautiful and sunny. This is the first year it's been a little threatening, although it has not seemed to dampen the crowds whatsoever. By 11:30, you can see a good crowd already forming here. Now, as you know, always they have new tastes at the Taste of Chicago. This year, about 9 new tastes. One of them is the Breakfast Club from Westtown over on West Hubbard. They've got things here like a breakfast pizza and a veggie breakfast puff and a chorizo sausage puff. But we also talked to a couple of other new tastes this year, 3 in particular, and they are offering some ethnic tastes from all over the city. Meat plays a big role in the life of the Suarez family. At their Colombian steakhouse, Las Tablas, in Lincoln Park, they've been cooking the dishes from back home for nearly 20 years. Newcomers this year to the Taste, their reasoning was simple.
The biggest reason we're doing this is to be able to show a wide amount of people Colombian cuisine.
That means skewers of beef and chicken arriving with plantains or potatoes, disc-shaped arepas, the corn and cheese pancakes served all over Colombia. Chorizo sausage will be grilled, and their unique empanadas are also worth checking out.
We put ground beef, rice, hard-boiled egg, and potato all together. It's by far our most popular appetizer.
And since the restaurant uses fresh fruit in all of its cocktails, they'll be making a refreshing Colombian fruit salad made with a native non-alcoholic soda. From the South Loop, Pan-Asian favorite Tamarind is another newcomer. They'll be offering a mildly spicy chicken red curry, as well as a dish called Taiwan Shining Noodles, a simple dish with veggies and thin egg noodles. Orange chicken is another safe option, and the taro fries may not sound enticing, but they're surprisingly good. Another newcomer and familiar sight at neighborhood summertime street fairs is Adobo Grill, which has 2 city locations and another in Lombard. Chef Freddie Sanchez is keeping it simple. Homemade guac and chips, a corn-based chicken tamale, and those smoky, soft pork tacos, also known as cochinita pibil.
Taste of Chicago actually has been very helpful with us. We talked to a couple of people that have been there for many, many years, and they're actually the ones that are kind of coaching us how much food to prepare, and so we really appreciate it that these people are trying to help as well.
Sanchez says since this is his first taste, the hardest part is planning on how much food to make.
We're looking forward. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, one note about that guacamole, as you know, there's a bit of a salmonella issue with tomatoes, so they told me just yesterday they're not going to have any tomatoes in that guacamole from Adobo Grill. Now, I'll give you the information about all the restaurants we just mentioned. Las Tablas, first of all, 2965 North Lincoln Avenue, 773-871-2414. Tamarind, which is booth 63 here, 614 South Wabash, 312-379-0970. Adobo Grill's got 3 locations. They're booth 64 here, but around town, 1610 North Wells, 312-266-7999, 2005 West Division, 773-252-9990, and Lombard at 365 Yorktown Center, 630-627-9990. And I believe I've got some food from Tamarind for both of you there, some chicken and some noodles, I hope, arrived.
Yes, and they are absolutely delicious.
And you should see this. It's really good. Let's see. We've got red curry chicken right here.
And shiny Thai noodles.
Is that right?
Shiny
Both
Thai
available.
noodles. Right.
Both available here at the Taste. Now, I want to tell you about what's coming up a little bit later, because we're here, of course, at Taste all day long. At 4 o'clock, we're going to be talking about some of the gourmet options here. There's a chef's tent. Used to be called the Gourmet Pavilion. We're going to be talking to the chef, Jimmy Banos, who's there today. Then at 6 o'clock, talking about the Taste portions and some great sweets here at the Taste. And then at 10 o'clock tonight, the Lazy Man's Taste of Chicago. I'm going to be setting up a little table, a chair, and I'm going to move in a 50-foot concentric circle and see what I can eat.
Wow. Did you bring any Tums?
All right. I ate a lot today.
Maybe just
You
one.
are. Okay, have
a good
fun.
time.
That sounds like a lot of fun. We'll be right back.
Well, for most of us, mac and cheese is a reminder of growing up, especially when it came from that blue and white box.
But quite a few restaurants now are presenting their own homemade mac and cheese, and these new versions geared more for adults. Our Hungry Hound has found a few of them. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with the details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Kevin, I'm glad you're enjoying it already. Now, you're going to find a decadent 3-cheese version at places like Table 52 in the Gold Coast, while other restaurants have been experimenting with things like penne pasta instead of the traditional elbow macaroni. Well, this American invention has gone way upscale, and it now seems like everybody's offering their own take on a childhood favorite. Just try making a mac and cheese like the one at Flight Wine Bar in the Glen, a planned community in north suburban Glenview.
This mac and cheese is the richest, heartiest mac and cheese you're going to have this winter.
That's because in addition to the hearty bechamel sauce, there is the addition of duck confit.
It takes about 4 days total. If you want to do it to the extent that we do it, we cure it just to take all the moisture out of it, and for 2 days.
Those duck legs are immersed in sugar, salt, fresh rosemary, and garlic, and after 2 days, they're rinsed and slowly cooked.
Then we poach it in duck fat for overnight for about 10 hours, and then we let it sit and we pull it.
And that pulled duck meat is heated in a skillet with a bechamel containing butter, flour, milk, and white cheddar. Then the elbow macaroni goes in along with some fresh chives. At the very end, a bit of white truffle oil is added to give the dish another component of richness and aroma. In Lincoln Park, Chef Ryan Pulley has his own take on the classic side dish at Perennial, which sits directly across from the Green City Market.
We think the demand for it, with the amount of mac and cheese we sell a night, it would be a disaster if we took it off the menu.
Pulley's version begins with orecchiette pasta, shaped like tiny ears, which are boiled with vibrant green edamame beans. He combines them with a sauce containing sharp and mild cheddar plus creamy fontina. The result has been a hit since they opened.
We decided to go with the orecchiette pasta because I feel the ear shape kind of scoops up the cheese a little bit better, and edamame is just a great kind of crunch to it.
2 other notable versions include the Comfort Classic at MacArthur's, a great soul food place on the west side, and the Uzi Crock at Stanley's in Lincoln Park. Now, more information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Be sure to click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all my stories and videos, or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I brought you both of these mac and cheeses. Now, Kevin was saying he doesn't really like duck, but he likes this duck.
It's delicious.
Okay, oh, this is the one from Perennial. Sorry, I needed to open this for you, too. I'm sorry, I didn't do that for you, Carmine. Here's the There's the one from Perennial. Okay, 3 cheeses, as we talked about, with the edamame in there. What do you think of that one, by the way?
That is so fun. With the
More of a traditional sauce.
Yeah, a little traditional sauce,
Yeah.
but mild and sharp with the fontina. And then up here, the mac and cheese with the elbow macaroni and the duck confit, and a little bit of truffle oil on top. Did you smell that a little bit? I put a little bit of truffle oil just before I served it to you.
You know
So
what?
this is
Truffle
the one
oil
from
on
Flight.
anything tastes
That's
great.
from Flight, and thank you for telling me about that one, because you told me about this, so Linda gets
I
credit
know.
for that
I
one.
went there, tasted it, and went,
It's really good.
we have to do
So we
grown-up
did-
mac and cheese.
We did it.
Right?
We did it. It was good.
Good call.
And
I
if you
love
gave me
mac and
one more
cheese.
minute, I would make all gone here.
I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead.
Stay with us.
I
We'll
am.
be right back.
Today is United Nations Day. Established in 1947, it's supposed to remind citizens of the importance of the UN on their national interests.
And since the current Secretary General of the UN is from South Korea, our Hungry Hound honors him as well as this day by featuring 2 of Korea's best-loved dishes. Here's ABC7's Steve Dolinsky.
It's mostly folks from the neighborhood and Korean expats eating at the Sogangdong Tofu House in the North Park neighborhood on Bryn Mawr. Many of them are eating the same thing, bibimbap and sundubu. Their names may sound odd at first, but to Koreans they mean comfort and familiarity.
I'll say with bibimbap and sundubu are 2 of the more popular dishes in Korea.
Bibimbap begins with white rice spooned into a stone bowl. Then comes a litany of veggies, each arranged precisely around the rice. Pickled daikon, shredded carrots, crisp bean sprouts, pickled cucumbers, cooked spinach, and finally some spicy shredded kimchi radish. Beef or tofu is optional. A cooked egg crowns the top, and the stone bowl is heated on the stove where it rests for a few minutes before being covered with shards of fresh lettuce. At the table, you add the optional chili sauce for heat and vigorously mix everything up, being sure to get that crispy, crunchy cooked rice up from the bottom.
For vegetarians who's looking for a good Korean vegetarian meal, bibimbap is a very good choice. Instead of meat, we could substitute tofu, and you get a very good meal out of it.
The sundubu starts out with an assortment of seafood such as calamari and shrimp. Chicken broth is ladled into the pot, which is heated on the stove. A generous scoop of chili paste containing soy sauce and sesame oil is also mixed into the pot. Once it starts boiling, a heaping spoonful of soft tofu is added and broken into tiny bite-sized pieces, absorbing much of the flavor from the broth and the chili sauce. At the table, you crack an egg into the boiling cauldron, which cooks it almost instantly, adding some heft and body to the soup. An assortment of complimentary pickled side dishes called panchan are available to balance the heat and provide crunch in the form of cucumbers or radishes. Kim says despite tofu's image in the U.S., it remains one of the most coveted ingredients in Korea.
I know it's got a bad reputation in the U.S. as being not very flavorful, but it is very versatile, and depending on what ingredients and spices you use it with, it could be very tasty.
Now, United Nations Day may not be a big celebration in your house, but why not celebrate like the Secretary General would this year with a big Korean feast featuring 2 classic dishes? In the North Park neighborhood on the northwest side, Steve Dolinsky, ABC 7 News.
It smells great. You hear it sizzling there. Steve says the restaurant also makes a healthy ginseng soup as well as a traditional barbecue known as carby. For more information about the Tofu House, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side of the margin there, and you'll see the Hungry Hound tab. And that will then link you to all of Steve's stories and videos, or you can call the info line 312-750-7096.
And also the Tofu House brought us some of their bibimbap. I love to say that.
Bibimbap.
Right.
Yes.
And it's as fun to eat as the name of it. Because look, we can't touch this because the bowl gets really hot. And then the rice is on the bottom. And it's getting kind of crunchy on the bottom. And so you can see all of those ingredients there. But look at what happens.
Afterwards, okay? So you're supposed to mix this all up. We learned. And as Linda was saying, you have to really dig in the bottom there because the rice gets crispy and yummy.
Look at that. It's healthy, too, isn't it?
Delicious. Very nice.
Yummy,
Thanks for dropping it off, you guys. They came in today to bring
It's great, too.
The recent change in weather signals the beginning of soup season.
And one of our Hungry Hound's favorites is chowder. And he's found a Latin-influenced chowder to dig into this month. And Steve joins us now with details about that. Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia, yes, I love a good clam chowder from places like Shaw's Crab House, or even a hearty corn and potato chowder. Now, I had an excellent version of the latter recently at a South Loop Nuevo Latino restaurant where they've built such a loyal following for their soup, they can't take it off the menu. You wouldn't think chowder could get a facelift, but at Cuatro, a South Loop restaurant focusing on new Latin cuisine, Chef Eddie Jimenez has done just that.
It's both vegetarian and hearty. We use a little bit of condensed milk, which gives it sweetness, evaporated milk, and heavy whipping cream, plus all the ingredients are fresh, and the corn is roasted, which gives it a different dimension.
He first starts off by adding chopped white onions to melted butter and sautés them for a few minutes until translucent. Then a rapid-fire progression of chopped red tomatoes, celery, and finely diced jalapenos for a subtle note of heat. All those veggies are stirred until they're slightly softened. Tomato paste gives the soup its color, while roasted corn adds both texture and flavor. Again, he incorporates all the ingredients, stirring constantly. Idaho potatoes are cubed and soaked in water. This keeps them white, but also helps to thicken the soup.
We add that water with the potatoes to thicken up the soup, because it already has a little starch in the water.
Once the potatoes have softened, he seasons the soup with salt and white pepper. Finally, the richness factor, a combination of condensed and evaporated milk, plus a healthy addition of heavy cream to balance out the heat.
When I cook, I like to have all dimensions of flavors, from hot, salty, sweet, sour, and a little bit of bitterness to it.
The final flourish is a hit of dried epazote, a Mexican herb, giving the soup another dimension and adding to the allure of this vibrant seasonal dish.
Excellent for the wintertime.
Now, the soup is also a good option for vegetarians, although since he uses cream, it is obviously not vegan-friendly. Now, more information, go to our website, abc7chicago.com, click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all of my stories and videos, or call the info line, 312-750-7096, and I brought you some chowder. Now, the thing I like about this chowder is that it's got a little bit of heat from those jalapenos, but all of that heavy cream and that little evaporated milk and condensed milk balances it out. So it's a subtle heat. It's not overwhelming, which is so important to a good soup, having that balance.
That's why we need the heavy cream,
You
right?
need that. I call it a tres leches soup. It's got a little bit of those three milks.
Really good.
It's really good.
And
Good. I'm glad you like it.
kick.
And a little kick.
Excellent.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
Very nice.
All right.
Love it.
Yep.
There's much more ahead. Our Hungry Hound has found another great bargain. This time it is in the South Loop.
It's part of his occasional series on affordable eating. That's where he looks for good meals at fair prices. And Steve Dolinsky joins us now with more details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, obviously now we're not talking about fast food chains or dives, but rather the clean, friendly neighborhood places where the food is fresh and the prices more than reasonable. Now, today's Affordable Friday feature brings us a taste of Mexico by way of a popular local hamburger company. Taquerias are everywhere in Chicago, especially in the south and southwest sides. But in the South Loop, a new option is attracting Columbia College kids and new residents. It's called Flaco's Tacos, and it's the brainchild of the family who owns Hackney's right next door.
I've been to 18th Street, La Vip on 26th Street, and I've tried a lot of different taco places. And when we wanted to open a new concept, we decided a taco place would be great.
Burritos and quesadillas grace the menu, but it's the tacos that really impressed. From the homemade al pastor, or pork, that's assembled every day on a vertical spit, to the arrachera, or beef. Well seasoned and perfectly grilled, it's chopped throughout the day, making for high turnover. Even the fish tacos, which have evolved over the first few weeks of operation, are great. Whole tilapia fillets paired with crunchy cabbage and drizzled with a hearty crema. Homemade is the mantra here, from chips to red and green salsas. Even the guac is hand-mashed, giving it just the right texture. Much of the inspiration comes from the cooks.
They came in and a lot of them brought the recipes that they had brought, from home.
Desserts range from seasonal muffins to sweet empanadas. Hebson says they're trying to elevate the experience of the everyday taqueria.
There's taquerias all over Chicago that are very good, but sometimes, it's not the first place you want to go into. People don't feel comfortable. A lot of times there's language, communication problems. So we want to bring authentic Mexican food to the Printers Row South Loop neighborhood.
And Flaco's also serves beer and margaritas, as well as some very good homemade horchata, a sweetened rice milk drink. Now, more information about Flaco's Tacos or any of the other places featured in our Affordable Friday segments, just go to our website, abc7chicago.com, more ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos, or call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I brought you a couple of tacos, a burritos, a little soup here.
Everything.
So tamales here, made from scratch every day. Different types of tamales, pork or vegetarian. homemade salsas, great tacos here, different al pastor tacos I like. Over here is a steak taco with great fresh limes. A fish taco up here, a whole tilapia fillet with just some great little crema on top of it and some crunchy cabbage. And then, of course, a little bit of guacamole. What do you think?
It's good.
Good stuff.
I always say you can judge a good Mexican restaurant by the beginning. The salsa and the chips. Don't you guys usually
I
give
agree.
away?
I agree. They usually have me at the salsas.
Right. Yeah.
And
these
the chips are good.
incredible.
Well, yeah, I know. We'll keep eating.
Good.
Okay, I'll
If I
talk about
have to.
tonight.
Well,
Okay?
you know we do.
Well, good. You're very good about that. Thanksgiving, right around the corner. We all know this. Okay, now there are plenty of local farmers eager to sell you produce straight from the farm. We're going to talk to one of those farmers and a local chef to show how anybody can be a locavore this Thanksgiving. It is my Friday night special, tonight at 10. Locavore meaning you buy things within a 100-mile radius.
I like
and
that.
you can buy the turkey, the produce, everything for Thanksgiving from within a 100-mile radius of Chicago.
Oh, very good. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Delicious. We'll be right back.
You know, everybody obviously focused on eating tomorrow.
And so our Hungry Hound is taking a unique approach this week. Now, today and tomorrow, he is emphasizing some of the healthier eating options where vegetables play the starring role. And Steve joins us now with details about that. Steve?
Hey, Linda and Jose. Yeah, kind of an alternative to all the heavy stuff we're going to have the next 24 hours or so. Now, for more than 25 years, one family has dominated the vegetarian world in the northwest suburbs. It's easy to miss as you drive along Arlington Heights Road, but if you're looking for healthy, vegetarian-friendly dishes with a lot of ethnic flavors, look no further than Chapati, where they take the best of South India, Mexico, and the Middle East and create healthy, wholesome meals. By its nature, South Indian food is vegetarian. You'll see lots of sev, that's crunchy chickpea noodles, plus breads and crepes. But at Chapati, a vegetarian fixture in Arlington Heights since 1982, the menu has evolved over the years to include several non-Indian options.
We were vegetarians, so my dad would fix us veggie burgers and burritos and quesadillas. Customers would eye our food and they'd say, "What are you having?" And so then my dad would go give them a sample. It wouldn't be on the menu. And then customers would say, "You need to add this on the menu."
And add they did. Veggie burgers, spaghetti with veggie balls, and falafel with pita and all the trimmings. Plus a wide assortment of Indian-inspired bread such as roti and paratha.
The batter is vegan and gluten-free, so it's very popular.
But so are the extensive Indian options like the premium Bombay Bell.
Puffed rice, kind of like Rice Krispies. It has bits of whole wheat chips, some noodles made out of chickpea flour. In that crunchy mixture, we add potatoes, onions, cilantro. We add 3 chutneys, which are like sauces or dressings. A garlic chutney is spicy. Then we have a golden chutney made using green chilies, and a sweet chutney is made using dates.
The dish is simultaneously crunchy, soft, spicy, sweet, and savory. Delicious. The special Sev Batata Puri are also called Indian nachos due to the fact round potato discs rest on crispy wheat chips, and they're topped with a host of ingredients such as yogurt, chutney, and Sev, those crispy chickpea noodles, plus cukes and fresh cilantro. Masala dosa, an Indian crepe made with rice and lentil batter, is filled with potatoes, onions, and cashews, while several other dishes, including curries made with veggies or chickpeas, can be modified for your heat preference. For dessert, homemade malai kulfi, essentially ice cream, is addictive, while the carrot halva can be served chilled or warm. Gulab jamun also arrive either plain or a la mode.
They're round, soft, and spongy Indian pastries dipped in sweet saffron syrup, and normally they're served warm.
Kapadia says her customers have really embraced all things vegetarian.
We've seen more and more people interested in vegetarian now than many years ago. People are caring more about what they put in their bodies, and it's great to see that change.
And a very important note, the restaurant is closed for Thanksgiving today and tomorrow, but they're going to reopen on Friday for dinner about 5 p.m. Now, more information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all of my stories and videos, or really simply just call the info line, 312-750-7096, and a programming note. News at 11 is going to be preempted Friday because of college football, so I will have a report on tomorrow here on the news at 11.
With the holiday season upon us, bakeries are pretty busy these days.
But our Hungry Hound realizes there's much more than just cakes and cookies around town. So over the next 4 Wednesdays, yeah, there are, huh? You know, he's taking a unique look at some of the best ethnic bakeries in Chicago. Steve Dolinsky joins us. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, now, whether you're nibbling on kuchidati or savoring marzipan, Chicago has dozens of wonderfully authentic ethnic bakeries. As Linda mentioned, we're going to be visiting a few of them over the next 4 Wednesdays, beginning with a European bakery that, at its core, is really making delicious Polish treats. You wouldn't have to guess too hard to figure out what kind of bakery Delightful Pastries is, located on the western edge of Jefferson Park. Most of the customers are Polish, but that doesn't mean everything on the shelves is from Poland.
The bakery is truly a European bakery because we have products from France, we make products that are German, we make products that are Austrian, Polish, and Czech, and of course American.
There's pound cake, both plain and marble, as well as an assortment of hearty European breads, including one stuffed with sunflower seeds. Homemade cookies are carefully arranged into Christmas trees, while a combination of passion fruit curd and whipped cream form the basis for a passion fruit mousse cake. Even kolaczki, a cookie many associate with the Poles, is actually Czech in origin. But Bielinski's heritage is hard to avoid. There's makowiec, a poppy seed pastry that begins with homemade dough stuffed with poppy seeds, honey, candied orange peels, almonds, and raisins, baked, then coated in frosting. Individual slices make for dramatic presentation. Another Polish highlight featuring plenty of liquor is her walnut tort.
That's called tort orzechowy, which means a walnut tort, and it has a lot of chocolate and lots of alcohol, and it's fabulous, and it will keep forever, and you can have a little bit of a slice every day just to make you happy.
Even gingerbread is not what you'd expect. The Polish version calls for slicing it into layers, adding a plum butter in between the layers, then coating it in melted chocolate that will eventually harden, topped with candied fruits or nuts.
That's called piernik królewski, and that's the translation of that would be a royal gingerbread, and that's a gingerbread that has raisins, candied orange peels, almonds, nuts.
It's not all sweets, mind you. She also bakes tempting savory items like potato and cheese pierogi or immensely thick spinach quiches. But for every savory item, there are a dozen sweets, including homemade punchki, which will be featured in the weeks leading up to Fat Tuesday. Like everything else here, they are rich, but not too sweet.
I believe that I make my products much less sweeter than is the norm because Polish pastries are not very sweet. They're very rich, but the sugar level has been really toned down.
And for some reason, the area of West Jefferson Park where Delightful Pastries is really attracts the flour and yeast crowd because down the street is a Serbian bakery, and right next door, an Italian one. Interesting. More information about Delightful Pastries, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. There is the Hungry Hound tab, and that will link you to all of my stories and videos. Or just call the info line, 312-750-7096, and brought you a little assortment here, a little holiday assortment. Their store, yeah, it's really beautiful. Their store is full of this stuff right now. Beautiful Christmas tree here, made from cookies, obviously, totally edible.
Look at the detail.
Really nice stuff. Yeah, they're very detailed. Over here in front now, this is the poppy seed, this roll-up. I really love it. Got the poppy seeds inside with the almonds and the nuts and the sugar, and then some frosting on top. Then over here, the royal gingerbread. And in between are these layers of plum butter, and then on the outside is the chocolate. So that's what it looks like when it's sliced open, and this is what it looks like over here when it's sort of finished presented.
A gingerbread fruitcake.
Gingerbread fruitcake, exactly. Yeah, very nice. Good for the holidays.
Nice. These are pretty.
These cute. Oh, the little gingerbread cookies, aren't these really cute? Can you get a shot of that?
It's pretty cute.
Linda likes those a lot.
Look at it. Is that adorable?
Happy holidays. So yeah, every Wednesday, a new ethnic bakery this month.
Okay, how fun is that? Thanks so much. Our Hungry Hound is on the baking trail this month, and it's gorgeous, taking a look at a new ethnic bakery every Wednesday.
And this week he's off to Italy, tracking down a taste of the old world, but it's over on Chicago's near west side. Steve Dolinsky joins us with details about that. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, this is a great place. Talk about legendary. The original Ferrara company recently celebrated its centennial, opened back in 1907. The bakery still cranks out all kinds of Italian specialties. And this time of year, the holiday spirit is full of flour, sugar, and ricotta cheese. For the past century, the original Ferrara company has been a Taylor Street stalwart, one of the city's first true examples of authentic Italian baked goods. Salvatore and Serafina Ferrara's picture still hangs in the entrance, and while workers from the nearby hospital can stop in for a quick lunch, they're more apt to pick up some homemade sweets.
Some of the real Italian pastries would be like the rum babas, like the pasta chot, sfogliatelle, and of course, cannoli.
Cannolis begin with sweetened ricotta cheese, sugar, and cinnamon piped into fried cylinders of dough. They're dusted with powdered sugar, and finally each end is dipped into some finely chopped nuts. Cuccidati is Sicilian in origin. These holiday cookies are made year-round.
Cuccidati is it's figs with citron. We put an apricot and some pecans.
They're topped off with some icing and a handful of multicolored sprinkles. Another holiday favorite is the strufoli, a sweet edible pyramid.
We only make it Christmas time. And it's cream puff dough, same thing we make our large cream puffs with. We just make the little small balls, warm up some nice honey mixture, put the honey all over and hold them together. And then if people like, we sprinkle the top with the candy.
Cakes are also big business here. Their cannoli cake is one of the most popular, beginning with a bottom layer of cake topped with vanilla custard and sliced strawberries. The second layer is topped with that cannoli filling, along with chocolate chips. The entire cake is then surrounded by sweet white frosting. Davey says even though the original residents have moved out beyond Taylor Street, people still travel from all over the region to get a taste of the old world.
Now the neighborhood's changed a little bit, but Italian pastries are still popular.
And speaking of Italian bakeries, another outstanding specialist focusing on Sicilian baked goods is Pasticceria Natalina, an artisanal Italian bake shop in Andersonville. More information about both bakeries on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There is the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos, or just call the info line 312-750-7096. And boy, did they bring us good sample of Italian baked goods. So
Sylvia's in heaven.
You are loving this, aren't you?
This is my favorite one.
Oh, well,
can we show that?
You can show that, but no, that's not. All right, you're going out of order here, Sylvia. But all right.
I mean, look at that. That is
beautiful.
So yummy.
I know. So just, I mean, look at this display here. Things like the chocolate and the I love the candy-coated almonds are great, which you just tried a little bit. The pine nuts over here, the pine nut cookie, which is delicious. Here's the cuccidati, the fig inside there. The cannolis back here, lovely sweet ricotta cheese with chocolate chips inside. And then this big guy over here is the panettone or panettone. This is the sort of the holiday bread that they have. Lots of great stuff at Ferrara.
Yummy.
Yeah, really good yummy.
Ooh, this
really yummy.
This has a cream filling.
Oh, I'm going to try that one.
Yeah, with a little cherry on top.
I'm all over that.
Just guidance from Sylvia because she's trying every single one.
You're going to love Friday, by the way.
Good.
Friday is going to be heavy duty.
Cool. We'll be right back, everybody.
All right.
Are you doing more sweets and baked goods for us?
Friday.
Yeah.
A lot of us could use a break from the weather, so tonight our food reporter is whisking us off to Southern California. He's introducing us to a regional taste from that part of the country that has only recently been duplicated here in Chicago.
It is his Friday night special, and Steve Dolinsky is here with a taste.
Trying to will some of that warm weather karma for us. So fish tacos are to San Diego and the Baja Peninsula what hot dogs or Italian beef are to Chicagoans. They are quick, inexpensive meals utilizing local ingredients. But until recently, they've been hard to find here in the Midwest. Thankfully, a few transplants are now recreating these delicious handheld meals with some success. Certainly, the whole chickens take up much of the kitchen space at Chicks and Salsa in West Suburban Glen Ellen. But Cindy Deegan's experience in Southern California also led her to offer some dynamite fish tacos.
I had experienced them for 8 years, fell in love with them, would call home, tell my mom there was nothing like it here. I told her when I came back to Chicago I was going to bring them back with me.
Served grilled or Baja style, that's fried, she dips tilapia fillets into a semi-spicy beer batter. After a quick fry, 3 white corn tortillas are briefly warmed up, then topped with a succession of crunchy cabbage, chipotle mayo, and the fried fish, plus some chopped cucumbers and a healthy shot of cilantro. A trio of homemade salsas and fresh limes stand at the ready, but honestly, these Baja beauties need little doctoring. Downtown and River North, Hub 51 is the first restaurant from the sons of Let Us Entertain You founder Rich Melman. Their fish taco plate is replete with guac, beans, and rice and pico de gallo, plus handmade corn tortillas.
It's not our grandmother, but it is a team of people rolling our own tortillas every day. We make probably a little over 1,000 tortillas every day.
Extra points for including bits of corn in those tortillas. Mahi mahi is grilled, served along with some tomatillo sauce. The diner gets to build their own taco.
When halibut's in season, we use halibut. We plate it so that people kind of build their own and it's kind of interactive and people have a good time with it.
In Ukrainian Village, the Old Oak Tap is a fine example of a bar for grown-ups. Part of their upscale menu includes fish tacos that begin with tiny tilapia fillets soaked in buttermilk, then tossed in seasoned flour and fried. On each warm corn tortilla go layers of crunchy cabbage, then spicy chipotle mayo, and finally, homemade pico de gallo gracing the well-seasoned crunchy fried fish. The trio makes a perfect foil for the outstanding beer list.
We like to do it Baja style, meaning it's just some citrus. There's not a whole lot on it. Cabbage and just quick flash fry on the tilapia, and that's it.
An honorable mention out to Highland Park at La Casa de Isaac, which has a Mexican menu, but really, they know how to make fish tacos. Now, more information about any of the places I mentioned, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7, left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos, or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. I like the contrast here. There's creamy, spicy, crunchy, soft. They're great.
Now, if we could find a beach that was open.
Never mind.
Never mind. We're,
brown paper packages tied up with strings.
It is that time of year once again. While some people talk about the best gifts to buy, you just know that our Hungry Hound is thinking about what else but food.
That's right, all the time. And this year he takes a look back at some of his favorite things and focusing on some of the best sweets from the year 2008. Are you happy?
I am, and some of these I must have been off that day because
yeah, I think you were.
I'm not familiar
I think
with
you
all
might have been
these.
off that day,
Yeah,
Sylvia. But this
like
is
these.
this day is really for you because I know you got a sweet tooth, right?
I do.
This is more exciting than a plate of arroz con gandules for you. So these are some of my highlights, some of the sweet highlights. We want to do all sweets this year from the past year. Let's start with cupcakes. Okay. Who doesn't love a cupcake? This is from Moore over in the Gold Coast. Now, we did this at 10 o'clock, not on the 11 a.m. show. So the Moore, essentially, their namesake cake is like a beautiful gourmet Hostess cupcake. There's a cream filling inside that they make. They hollow out the inside.
Right.
These back here, it's a coconut cake with a mango frosting and a caramelized rice on top. It kind of mimics the mango and sticky rice that you might have in Thailand. They also have savory cakes like BLT cakes and bacon cakes, so you could have cupcakes for lunch and for dinner. This is called Moore. Why don't you go try one? And then also,
can I show our cameraman what's in here?
yeah, show them the inside. That's the inside of this Moore cake. And then there's also little morsels. That's like the Hostess, right? And look at these morsels. These are little tiny 2-bite affairs over here, little morsels. So if you don't want to have a big cupcake, do a small one. This is, okay, Moore. They're at 1 East Delaware.
But that's right, because Sylvia always says that when she sees, goes more.
I was going to say, I understand the name, and this is better than any ho-ho I have ever had.
I would agree. Okay, next one over here. Hazelnut little seashells from Belgian chocolatier Perron. That's in Evanston, of course, on Main Street. My daughter loves these. They've got hazelnut, either milk chocolate or dark chocolate. Makes a great gift. They come in these beautiful boxes as well. Little hazelnut, little seashells from Belgian chocolatier Perron. Moving on.
Okay.
These are the two different things from the Twisted Sister bakery in Old Town. They're at North Wells Street. Corny lime cookies up here, kind of a savory cookie with a little bit of lime and cornmeal, not your typical sweet cookie. And then back here, and my son is addicted to these, chocolate banana cream tarts. The inside shell lining is chocolate, and then there's this beautiful custard inside with bananas, fresh bananas, great custard, and then, of course, chocolate shavings and cream on top.
What more could you ask?
Oh, delicious. Now, I love this one over here. This is from Christopher's Cafe in Pilsen. Two things here. The Choco Flan. This is unbelievable. It's flan on top with some chips and then a chocolate cake down below. It separates while it bakes. And then over here, tres leches. Nice because not too much frosting on top. I like the thin layer of frosting, the tres leches. Both of these from Christopher's Cafe in Pilsen. Over here, we've got the Emotion Chocolat.
Beautiful.
This is from Vanille Patisserie in Lincoln Park. I think they call it Emotion because it creates some kind of crazy emotions when you put it in your mouth. It's got a chocolate hazelnut cookie inside and then milk chocolate mousse on the outside. A couple of dark chocolate discs on top of that with the hazelnut on top of that. It's a chocolate explosion. It does make you want to cry if you love chocolate. Last but not least, La-Di-Da's. We had these a couple months ago. These are made by Whimsical Candy Company. They're available all over Chicago in various stores like Sam's, Olivia's, Lush Wine, Southport Grocery. It is essentially salted caramel, fresh nougat, dipped in dark chocolate. That is it. Very simple.
I was off this day, too, because I don't remember.
You missed that one, yes. Those are really addictive. Salted caramel, nougat, and dark chocolate. So more information about all these places, of course, as well as the phone numbers, which are very important. They're going to be on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left margin, and you're going to see the Hungry Hound tab. That will link you to all of my stories and videos. There we go. More ABC7, Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos. Or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And before you head out to try one of these pastry shops, you might want to get something savory, right? So I got a perfect suggestion for you. Yep, we're going to be. We're going to go right back, I guess. We've got to go to a break.
Yeah, we do right now.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'll tell you about tonight. It's fish tacos tonight.
We'll watch tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Linda's over here making food noises. It's good, right? Memorial Day weekend means a lot of cookouts, and while burgers and hot dogs are one thing, making ribs at home is a whole different story.
Which is why our Hungry Hound has a good suggestion for takeout. It's on the city's south side, and they have been slow smoking ribs and tips and hot links for more than 4 decades. They're really good. And Steve joins us with details now. Steve?
Hey, Linda and Sylvia, glad you're enjoying these. Now, there is plenty of good barbecue in Chicago. We all know that. On the north side, there's Smoke, Fat Willie's, and Smoke Daddy have proved consistent, while on the south side, the Rib Joint and Lem's are legendary. But don't forget about Barbara Ann's. They've been slow smoking all kinds of beef, chicken, and pork over hardwood to the lip-smacking, wet nap-loving delight of Southsiders for years. For more than 4 decades, the smell of slow-smoked barbecue has wafted from the chimney at Barbara Ann's, a legend in the Grand Crossing neighborhood on the city's south side.
It's been here almost 41 years, and it was named after Barbara. Her parents bought the place and had it built and named it after her. And she's still here. She owns the barbecue house and the motel that's adjoined to this.
Regulars mostly come for the rib tips, served over French fries and drenched in either mild or hot sauce. But there's much more than just tips here.
Rib tips, ribs, beef ribs, turkey hot links, beef hot links.
Those turkey links are part of a trio of link options. Beef and pork are the others. As for their ribs, they're given a light dusting of barbecue seasoning. Then, without too much waiting around, they make their way to the giant aquarium-style smoker bordered on both sides by sliding glass doors. The pitmaster is constantly checking the product, either adding oak hardwood to the fire to get it hot, or alternately hosing down the flames if they get too intense. The key is obviously slow smoking them over an even amount of heat for about 2 to 3 hours, depending on their size. Their Fred Flintstone-worthy beef ribs might take a bit longer due to their size. If you don't ask, the sauce will arrive on top, but get it on the side. That way you can appreciate the slight pink smoke ring on the outer edge of the rib, and dip as you like to add a sweet zing which balances the smoky char. Hinton says with several competitors on the south side, she thinks her staff makes all the difference.
I think it's the people and the way we cook here. We take pride in what we do here. Might not look like it, but we really do. We enjoy working here.
Another good bet on the south side is Uncle John's on 69th Street, where the pitmaster first earned his reputation working at, you guessed it, Barbara Ann's. And here's the information. Barbara Ann's Barbecue, 7617 South Cottage Grove, 773-651-5300. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. More ABC7 left side, that shows the Hungry Hound tab, and then that links you to all my stories and videos. Or, very simply, call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I wanted to show you one thing. I didn't want to cover these up with barbecue sauce to begin with, but I want to show you the smoke ring here. This is what you're looking for, folks, that beautiful pink smoke ring. That is a sign that the ribs have been smoked for at least 2 or 3 hours. That's when they've been cooked. They've not been boiled, or the meat is not falling off the bone, as we say in Chicago. This is really good smoked pork ribs here. They also do beef ribs. And then over here, these are some different links, the turkey, the beef, and the pork. Over here, different kinds of hot links. Not too spicy, are they?
No,
did you try? You like them?
Yes,
Yeah, they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
With, of course, the fries and the bread to soak everything up. But you like these?
The sauce is really good.
And the sauce is good too.
I
Yeah,
like it.
kind of a nice, mild, tangy, good balanced sauce. Okay, well, keep enjoying.
We are.
We'll talk about tonight. Coming up tonight at 10. Now, it's going to feel more like summer, as we know. Tracy told us this weekend. That's when frozen yogurt's really going to hit the spot. I'm going to visit 3 new froyo joints that have recently opened in the city. It is my Friday night special tonight at 10. You like frozen yogurt?
I do, yeah.
This is a lot better than the TCBY stuff that came out like 10 years ago. There was that craze about 10 years ago. This is really good yogurt. Tangy, almost like a Greek yogurt, a little bit of tang to it, but frozen and really creamy,
and
delicious.
where are you going?
Can you tell us about it now?
During the commercial break, I'll tell both of you.
Okay, okay. Sounds really good. Thanks, Steve. There's much more ahead on the news at 11 a.m. Wow, this is a fun experiment today, isn't it?
Fun.
Summertime's perfect time for lighter eating, and a few restaurants are now featuring simple foods grilled on skewers.
Our Hungry Hound has found a new place that focuses on Hawaiian-inspired grilled food. It's conveniently located just off the Blue Line. Steve Zielinski joins us now with all the details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, keep experimenting. Now, in hot climates like Thailand and Malaysia, you see a lot of grilled items served on skewers. They serve 2 purposes. One, they offer a lighter meal, and 2, they make every meal easily transportable. The same could be said for a new concept called skewers, which takes its primary inspiration from Hawaii and the Pacific. Typically, you see skewers on the appetizer section of a menu, offered as small tastes before a meal. But at Skewers, at the nexus of Bucktown and Wicker Park, beneath the Damon Blue Line stop, the sticks are pretty much it.
It's basically a healthy alternative to fast food, but we figured why not put it all on a stick and make it fun.
There are a few items that don't get skewered, such as giant artichokes, which are grilled, then served with a lemon aioli dipping sauce. But most items are stick-worthy. 5 spice-grilled fillets of beef, ahi tuna from Hawaii, a chili rub chicken, and perfectly plump shrimp marinated in coconut and cilantro. Even edamame is skewered. They blend it with spices and roll it in Japanese breadcrumbs before briefly deep frying it.
It makes it kind of easier for food on the go, so you don't have to have all these utensils and everything. You can come in, grab your food real quick. It's on a stick. Boom, eat it, throw it away.
All of the sauces are homemade, and they make excellent dipping opportunities, from red curry peanut sauce and coconut sambal to fresh mango chili. Other side options include fried rice, and the smoothies are all made with 100% fruit.
People have been very receptive. So we've got a lot of repeat clients. We've only been open 2 weeks. Everybody's talking great things.
And Skewers also delivers, and we mentioned their smoothies are made from 100% fruit. Well, they were planning on opening a healthy juice bar right next door in the coming months. And here's the information. Skewers with a Z, 1560 North Damon Avenue, 773-276-9805. More information on our website, 87chicago.com. More ABC7 on the left side. That links you to the Hungry Hound tab, which is a link to all my stories and videos, or very simply, call the info line, 312-750-7096. I say ends with a Z because there is another Skewers with an S in Lincoln Square, not related. So this is Skewers with a Z if you're looking it up. That's pretty impressive, Linda.
Right.
Wow, that's some serious
Can you
skewers.
eat all of them at once?
Yeah, you could, sure, absolutely, go for it. No, so there's a chili chicken, and there's some salmon, and they come in these nice little bamboo holders. Over here, some grilled artichoke with a little aioli, which is nice, and then over here, some nice shrimp and 5 spice beef. And of course, you get a choice of sauces. I love all these. There's jalapeno, there's coconut sambal, red chili sambal, mango, which is great with the edamame.
What's this one?
This is a peanut sauce and a chili peanut. Show the edamame. Oh, this is the edamame. You dug into it already. It's really good. Yeah.
This was just
the edamame was really tasty too. Rolled in Japanese breadcrumbs. Really nice stuff. Fun way to eat, and way that you could get them to go and eat them on the train or whatever.
Good.
Yep.
It's delicious.
Good. I'm glad you like them.
Fun. Can you tell? Yeah.
I can tell. Very impressive.
We're going to let her eat.
More to go.
We'll be right back.
Hound has been braving the Edens Expressway recently in search of a few guys named Charlie in Northbrook.
He found them, and he found food, too. First up, a legendary chicken joint where they recently added a full complement of slow smoked barbecue to the menu. And Steve Dolinsky joins us now with all the details. You talk, we'll eat.
I wish people could have seen her in the commercial break. Linda just chowing on that rib. Now, our first Charlie has been grilling chicken for the past 15 years. He started out in Buffalo Grove, then moved to a Northbrook strip mall, but more recently he bought a giant smoker and is now smoking ribs, brisket, and pork to the delight of his North Shore regulars. For more than 15 years, Chicken Charlie's has been a constant on the North Shore. They've succeeded in part from being consistent.
The things that that remain core are the Chinese chicken salad, boneless breast sandwiches, and grilled chicken.
But Cray heard something recently that got his attention.
The statistics that I read are about 1 barbecue place for every 100,000 people in Chicago.
So like any good businessman, he adapted. In February, he installed a hefty smoker, and now slow smokes baby back and St. Louis ribs, plus whole pork shoulder and brisket.
I was shocked to see the response, which has been overwhelming both in the store and catering on the new items.
The pulled pork is served on a soft bun dressed with a zingy barbecue sauce, leaning more sweet than vinegary. You could opt for a Carolina-style experience by placing some vinegary coleslaw on top of it. The brisket, smoked for more than 15 hours, is a beauty, served either sliced or chopped. It's a barbecue lover's dream, the previously tough cut rendered totally soft and moist from the slow cooking. It's also served with a slathering of sauce. Chicken is also successfully smoked. It arrives tender and juicy, not overcooked. Good sides include coleslaw, both creamy and vinegary, plus a tomato cucumber salad and sweet peachy baked beans. Cray says he never knew it, but apparently his customers were craving barbecue all along.
In the few short months that we've had it, it's already creeped up to probably about 30 to 40% of our business, and it just keeps on growing.
Another recent addition, sides of mac and cheese, and if you want their famous Chinese chicken salad to go, you can also get it in a wrap. And here's the information. Chicken Charlie's, 1143 Church Street in Northbrook, 847-559-9090. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that would link you to all of my stories and videos. Or, real simple, just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I can tell that you like this because it's been very silent here. I'll tell you what I brought. Now, of course, they grill the chicken, but the smoked chicken, very good, with the ribs. They've got St. Louis and baby backs over here. And then over here we made you some sandwiches, brisket sandwiches. You can get it sliced,
so good,
sliced or chopped, which is a nice choice.
Delicious.
Pulled pork, good buns, too, which is important. And then over here, they're peachy baked beans.
Amazing.
You love these, yeah.
I just tried those. Amazing.
Really good. And then I like the vinegary and the creamy coleslaw option, which is good, too. So.
Wow.
You like it?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Delicious.
And then on, by the way, Friday, we're going to have another Charlie from Northbrook. An interesting week.
Okay.
Okay.
Steve,
We're having trouble talking here.
All right. Go ahead.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The only kind of construction apparently that our Hungry Hound likes is the edible one.
So do we. There are a few ethnic dishes that require some assembly when it's at the table, and Steve has been happily putting them together, and then he tastes them, and he joins us now with the details. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Lydia and Sylvia. This is a lot of fun, actually. Now, when I hear the words "some assembly required," I usually grimace because I'm not all that handy. But when it comes to restaurant work, it's a different story. There are all kinds of dishes that require some assembly at the table, from Salvadorian pupusas to Asian crepes. We tried two options this week, both with delicious results. In Thailand, do-it-yourself snacks are nothing new. Many times a dish can be savored in a single bite. Such is the case with the one-bite noodle plate at Ruby of Siam, which has locations in Skokie, Evanston, and more recently, the Loop.
In Thailand, when they eat, everything is like in one bite. A lot of people, you know, they don't know what it is, what it looks like, and they don't order. But when you order it, you're stuck with it.
You begin by taking a piece of crisp iceberg lettuce, then tearing off a chunk of rice noodle, place that inside the lettuce. Then take a few teaspoonfuls of the ground curry chicken, topped with roasted shallots. And finally, a tiny drizzle of a cucumber-infused sweet and sour sauce. Once assembled, pop it into your mouth.
When you got a hang of it, it's good. You know, it's like your own hand, and then just taking you to your mouth, just one bite, the taste of everything.
Vietnam has a similar do-it-yourself dish called ban siao. It's essentially a giant crepe. At Pha Sua in Uptown, nearly everything on the menu is a bit more refined than its Argyle neighbors. The ban siao begins with a turmeric-infused rice batter, heated in a skillet. Chunks of fresh shrimp and pork belly, a.k.a. bacon, are cooked into the batter. A handful of tiny mung beans is scattered across the top, and a lid is added to steam and firm up the batter. A bunch of bean sprouts are added to one side, then the crepe is folded in half, plated, and brought to the table. Another plate, holding romaine lettuce, a bunch of fresh herbs, a small salad of shredded carrots and daikon, plus sliced cucumbers, is set down next to the crepe.
Traditional way, we wrap inside the lecture with some herbs in there. But some people just like to eat the crepe by itself.
It's best to wrap things up. Take some lettuce, add a chunk of the crispy crepe with pork and shrimp, then tear off some fresh mint or basil, add some carrot daikon salad and maybe a cucumber, and then once you wrap it all up, dip it gingerly into a bowl of seasoned fish sauce. The combination of flavors and textures is remarkable.
It could be an appetizer if you serve it to people, you know. If you have it by yourself, it can be an entry.
Now, Vietnamese menus have several do-it-yourself dishes, including a spring roll using rice paper sheets instead of lettuce. And here's the information. Ruby of Siam, 170 West Washington, 312-609-0000. Also, 9420 Skokie Boulevard in the Fashion Mall in Skokie, 847-675-7008, as well as 1125 Emerson in Evanston, 847-492-1008. And then Pha Sua at 1020 West Argyle, 773-271-9828. More info on the website, abc7chicago.com. click on More ABC7 on the left side. That's where the Hungry Hound tab is, and that will link you to all of my stories and videos, or just call the info line 312-750-7096. And there's an extra guest back
There
here.
is.
What?
Yeah. Funny. He wanted to eat.
There was food. It's good.
It is good.
Tell Ruby, man, that hot sauce is
It's good. It's more than
It's
hot
not
sauce.
that-
Explain.
But okay, so this sauce over here, the one by
Right
Noodle,
there.
it's the cucumber salad juice.
Oh, it's delicious.
Plus some chilies, plus a little bit of sweetness. It's really well balanced, but I just
flavor
love
is
the
great.
flavor is great. This is a really well balanced dish
is.
in itself. Here's kind of what it looks like. This is what it should look like over here.
Okay.
You can get a shot of this. This is what it looks
So,
like.
You
Okay.
get that. What do you call this?
This is just rice noodle.
Oh, it's okay.
It's just rice noodle. That goes in there. Okay.
Put that and then
You wrap it up, and then that's
Wrap it up and eat
Okay,
it.
now from the Vietnamese restaurant over here, this is the Ban Xiao. This is what it looks like. Okay, beautiful presentation. But then when you take a little piece of this and a little piece of this and the lettuce, this is what it looks like right here.
And then you are dipping that
And you're
into.
rolling this up and then dipping it into fish sauce.
Okay.
What's all in there?
There's shrimp and a little bit of pork belly. And mung bean. And bean sprouts. Okay, so I want to tell you now, coming up tonight at 10, all right, so keep eating.
Okay.
A chef with more than a decade of experience at Frontera Grill and Topolobampo strikes out on his own, making some of the same authentic regional Mexican dishes, but served in a very tiny BYOB restaurant. It is my Friday night special tonight at 10. Fish tacos, look at that. Love that. And there's some little pescado with green mole. And, just really good stuff. Great moles. And,
Who is this?
He's a guy who used to work for Rick Bayless.
Okay.
He's on his own now, and he's up on the northwest side.
He's learned a lot.
He has learned a lot from the master.
We're not going to find out his name until tonight at 10, are we?
Absolutely. That's right.
Just wait.
That's good mung bean.
Okay. You like mung bean? Is
like-
that the best mung bean you've ever had?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're eating, though.
We have some good stuff to tell you about. The DuPage County Fair starts today and it's going to run through Sunday.
Certainly there's going to be food served there, but our Hungry Hound suggests as long as you are there, you might as well stop by one of the best restaurants in Wheaton. Steve Dolinsky joins us with details while we eat.
Yes,
Good.
Sylvia, continue to eat. Okay, go ahead. Now, there is nothing wrong with corn dogs and cotton candy. But if you get a little bit tired of the food at the fair this weekend, you can always slip into Adele's right next to the train tracks in downtown Wheaton for a terrific meal on one of the best patios around. Seeing beets and goat cheese in a salad is nothing new, but it is refreshing to see this kind of detail in Wheaton at Adele's, which focuses on upscale American fare.
Originally, it was more comfort food, and it's kind of just grown and expanded to more contemporary American.
So in addition to that beet, goat cheese, and walnut number, there's also a disc of fresh watermelon and crisp watercress, topped with oven-dried goat cheese and red sea salt. The solid appetizers include a risotto of the day. On this day, it contained a scallop along with asparagus and smoked salmon. Entrees play it safe. Herb-crusted whitefish in a lemon butter sauce, braised short ribs with a burnt orange sauce, and a cheesy twice-baked potato with a Midwestern succotash. And surprise, wild Copper River salmon instead of the usual farm-raised option. It's served with roasted fingerling potatoes and a summery corn relish.
I think if you give them a good product with good service and a good atmosphere, why would they not come back? Why would they go someplace else?
Desserts rotate frequently, but in midsummer it's looking like a brown cow, make that root beer float, with small walnut coconut cookies, or a seasonal sour cherry crisp with cooling vanilla gelato and fresh whipped cream. Throw in one of the best al fresco dining options in DuPage County, and you've got a destination dinner that's hard to beat.
Everybody wants to sit on the patio. We're very lucky to have the best around, and we keep it looking real nice.
As coveted as the outdoor patio is, it is first come, first serve. You may have to leave the demolition derby or the laser light show a little early to grab a table. Now, here's the information. Adele's, 1060 College Avenue in Wheaton, 630-784-8015. DuPage County Fair, that runs from 8 to 11, beginning today and through Sunday. DuPage County Fairgrounds at 2015 West Manchester Road in Wheaton. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that will link you to all of my stories and videos. Yay. Or just call the info line. Really simple. 312-750-7096. Brought you a couple things from Adele's here. Different than that was in the piece. So we saw the great stuff in the story, but now here's some little lamb chops.
Beautiful.
With a risotto, of course. Wild mushrooms. Great stuff. And then a little bit of sweet next to it. More risotto in this case. Rice pudding with some toasted coconut and pineapple and cinnamon. And then over here, a little blueberry buttermilk bread pudding. Oh, yum.
Yeah,
love that, too. They're really into seasonal stuff. The menu changes frequently. It's new American. It's really great stuff, though.
Delicious.
Yeah, check it out if you're out there.
We will
Or if you're not out there, drive out there.
Go
Take
out
the
there
train out
anyway.
there. It's right next to the train.
Check it
So.
out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks very much. We'll be right back.
Did you get to try all of this?
Still ahead, traveling light doesn't mean shoving everything into a bag. A little later, we're going to have some tips for packing smart so you can save time and money.
Isn't that good? Well, our Hungry Hound says if you're going to be grilling, you should be grilling some fruit in addition to whatever else you do.
Because
right?
it says, yes, it's a good addition like to a summer lunch. You can add it to dinner, and it doesn't take very much time to prepare. And you did all this yourself?
I did most of this myself.
Most of it?
I should point out, by the way, everybody thinks I eat all the time. I also cook. I like to cook.
Okay.
So this is a very popular dessert at my house. Before I talk about the dessert, I should say grilling fruit is a wonderful thing because people think of they grill steaks, chicken, and fish on the grill, and then they turn it off. Okay, well, keep it going. Clean it with a wire brush, and then put on stone fruits like apricot or peaches or nectarines or even pineapple, which is what I like. But before I get to dessert, I want to show you a salad. Now, this is from Limelight Catering in Chicago. This is a grilled peach with sugar snap peas, arugula, and a roasted shallot vinaigrette. I love the peaches in here because, again, peaches are coming into season this week and next week. You grill them, it gives them a little bit of almost a smoky, earthy, extra sweetness. Whenever you roast something, it gives it sweetness, right?
Yep. What else is on here? Because there's a different.
It's a roasted shallot vinaigrette, but then there's sugar snap peas and arugula that gives it kind of a crunch as well. But I love grilled peaches. Now, grilled pineapple for dessert. Everybody thinks it's just the sweetness. Okay, so what I did was take a whole pineapple, I cut the bottom off to kind of make it even like this, and I trimmed the leaves off the top. I leave a little bit of the leaves on top for decoration.
Okay.
I just go right down the middle like that, and then I cut it into quarters like that. Kind of a big knife. Okay. Then I take these and I put them on the grill. Okay. You don't have to treat them. You don't have to marinate them. Nothing. No seasoning. Just on the grill, a high grill over direct heat for at least 3-4 minutes per side. And you can see some of these ones over here that I've been cooking for a little bit. This is what they should look like. You want them nice and caramelized and golden and a little bit blackened and charred. That is the sign of a great grilled pineapple. You could even cover this if you wanted to roast them a little bit. But I could just leave it like this while I'm having dinner, finishing dinner. Put the pineapple here and let it sit for 10 minutes, okay? So you grill those.
I won't hurt them for that long?
No, it's fine. So over here what I've done is I took one off the grill. Okay. And I've kind of cut it underneath so it sort of serves as a little tray for it. See, like that? And then to make it little serving sizes or even easily portioned, just cut it like this, and you've got your pieces like that. Now, this is the key. Dulce de leche, a little caramel, Argentinian caramel. I heat it up in the microwave for about 20 seconds to get it nice and soft like that. And I'm just going to drizzle it over More, okay. A little caramel over that. That gives it a little bit of extra sweetness. And then, of course, you got to have some ice cream. Of course. I would put vanilla ice cream. I would put coconut sorbet if you want a little bit lighter, not as heavy. And then, to balance all this sweetness, a little bit of Florida salt. This is optional, but I do like a little bit of sea salt or Florida salt. Easy to find in any stores right now. It balances out all that sweetness on there. Give it a little salty, sort of like a salted caramel.
That. Yeah, that's such a great idea.
Over and cook?
Of course I will.
Yeah.
Of course I will.
Okay. You know what, too? After a heavy grilled meal, this is perfect.
Oh, this is such a great light dessert. Like I said, you could do coconut sorbet, which would really lighten it even more. But you're not adding any fat, just a little bit of the caramel. And you can modify that as well.
Okay.
So I just like that sweetness and that saltiness, okay?
Yeah, it's amazing how it brings out all the sweetness.
Absolutely. The roasting always brings out the sweetness. Anytime you grill or roast vegetables, same thing, okay? So I want to tell you about, actually the recipe for this, the recipe for the salad, information about Limelight, all on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. That's where you find the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all my stories and videos. Or, very simply, call the info line 312-750-7096. And also, I should tell you about coming up tonight at 10, okay? So now, Chicago is Cheesehead Central for the next couple of days because the American Cheese Society has its 25th annual convention and competition here this weekend. So, more than 1,000 cheesemakers from all over the country are here. One of them is from Champaign, downstate. I went there to see how they make cheese on the Goat Cheese Farm, and we're going to see how it's served and how it's sold here in Chicago. That's tonight at 10 on the Friday night special.
We'll still be excellent. Pineapple.
You should be eating that pineapple.
Okay, thanks.
All right, you're welcome.
All right.
We'll be right back. Okay, I want to try.
Still ahead.
Art imitates life this month at the Steppenwolf Theater in Lincoln Park.
That is where a new play by Tracy Letts is currently being staged. It's called Superior Donuts. And that title alone made our hungry hound seek out some great donut shops. Steve Dolinsky joins us with more details about that. What'd you find, Steve?
Oh, Linda and Sylvia found lots of great places. Now, Tracy Letts won a Pulitzer and a Tony for his play August Osage County, which is currently on Broadway. His latest effort is a love letter of sorts to Chicago, featuring a worn-out, fictitious donut shop in Uptown, which made us wonder, how many independently owned donut shops are there left in Chicago?
Arthur P., you do know how to make donuts right. You don't just have them shipped in from Acme Donut Factory.
No, I make the donuts by hand.
You gotta get up early.
I make the dough in the evening after I close.
Stick it in the fridge and fry it up in the morning.
More flavor that way.
Just flour and oil, right? Then hit it with the sugar?
No, it's a little more sophisticated than that.
In Superior Donuts, the new play at the Steppenwolf, the namesake shop is a fictitious uptown legend full of odd characters from different ethnicities. There are issues of race, politics, and local history, but also food. And after spending 2 hours in the theater, I was inspired to seek out a locally owned legendary donut shop. At Old Fashioned Donuts, a 35-year mainstay in the Roseland neighborhood, owner Burritt Bullock shows no signs of slowing down. He makes yeast, cake, and buttermilk donuts every day.
It's something different, you know. I guess I wanted to be a cook, you know, and a baker.
While chocolate glazed and coconut buttermilk are popular, so are the jelly-filled strawberry. But they're nothing compared to his apple fritters and Texas donuts.
I would think I would introduce you to the Texas because it's different. You know, you don't find them on the market, you know, other than at Old Fashioned Donut.
Well, consider the donut. It's a dessert cake.
A dessert cake?
Yes.
Or a meal substitute?
Yeah, I suppose either one.
Or an additional meal, which contributes to obesity and cardiac disease in the African American community.
You're not giving much credit to the discernment of the consumer, African American or otherwise.
Discernment implies a choice. You don't see no Whole Foods in this neighborhood, do you?
Well, it's coming. We got a Starbucks right across the street.
Gentrification hasn't affected Bullock yet. He says his longevity is due to two things, his recipes and his customers.
They are the ones that keep me going, you know. They look forward to that every day. I think I've gone through about 3 generations, you know, of customers. My donuts are good. You know, I don't brag on them, but they, you know, they're old-fashioned donuts.
He can brag a little bit. Other independents in the city include Dat Donuts on South Cottage Grove, Donut Doctor up on West Lawrence, and in the suburbs, Spunky Dunkers in Palatine and Wheeling Donuts. Here's the information. Superior Donuts at the Steppenwolf, which is 1650 North Halsted, through August 24th. They extended it. Tickets 312-335-1650. And Old Fashioned Donuts is at 11248 South Michigan Avenue, 773-995-7420. More information about all the other places I mentioned on our website, which is abc7chicago.com. Click on the More ABC7 on the left side, and that's where the Hungry Hound tab is, and that will link you to the stories and videos I do, or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And brought you a couple of donuts from Old Fashioned Donuts.
These are really
now,
funny.
Check out this apple fritter. That is just a major deal apple fritter. That is
It's the size of our heads.
That is easily the size of our heads.
That's kind of fun.
And then up here, I want to show the contrast. You know, this is a regular donut size over here. So they got, you know, they've got buttermilk, they've got yeast donuts, cake donuts, little donut holes. Now look at the size of this donut versus the Texas donut. The Texas donut, you can really see the difference here. That could feed a family of 5 or 6, I think.
At least.
That's enormous. So
oh my gosh, my kids would go nuts.
they
if
would go
saw
nuts.
this.
Yeah, it is great. So, now also at the play, they sell donuts. They sell donuts at the play at the Steppenwolf because you just got to have a donut after you see this play, which is a lot of fun. Yeah.
Very fun things.
Enjoy.
I can only take a few pieces. It's good, but
Just a
ooh,
donut
is it
hole,
sweet.
small.
Yeah. It's 27 of those, right?
All right.
Thanks, Steve. There's much more ahead on the news at 11. Many new moms are looking for something crafty to do with their spare time. There's a new book that offers some fun and easy ideas inspired by baby.
Also, a celebrity fights back with her own.
Most summer camps are over for a lot of children, so a lot of parents are trying to find things to do during the day.
The zoo is a popular choice, both Lincoln Park and Brookfield Zoo. Good choices, but our Hungry Hound says the latter has upgraded its food options recently, and Steve Dolinsky joins us now with details on that. Steve?
Wow.
Hey guys, I know this is a surprise, Sylvia, but it's a good one. Now, Brookfield Zoo is a sprawling space, and it takes the better part of a day to really see it all. With all that walking, it's good to know kids and adults can fill up without the guilt. I'll admit I was a little skeptical at first, but after a visit to a couple of the dining destinations within the zoo, that skepticism turned into relief.
When you visit a zoo, or any mass appeal, family-friendly attraction for that matter, you expect the food to be substandard. But at the Brookfield Zoo, a recent overhaul has added a few alternatives to the usual dogs, burgers, and pizza.
We've done a lot of fresh items, a lot of healthy items, build-your-own burritos and tacos, paninis, fresh salads, sushis.
That build-your-own concept begins with lightly griddled tortillas filled with a choice of steak, pork, or chicken, plus pico de gallo, cheese, and other toppings. From the paninis and more section, a couple of nicely toasted options, including a Cuban that's layered with ham, pickles, cheese, and mustard. A healthier grab-and-go section offers organic turkey sandwiches on multi-grain bread, and a decent selection of salads, including an Asian and a Cobb. Light snackers will love the parfait, layered with vanilla yogurt, granola, and peaches.
We tried to offer some greater alternatives for our guests that come here, as opposed to usual hot dogs and burgers.
Just a short walk toward the center of the zoo, the temporary Bison Grill is housed in a giant white tent where the grills run pretty much non-stop. They've got thinly pounded steak sandwiches with caramelized onions, but the rolls are a little too thick, overwhelming the beef. Skip them and instead go for the juicy turkey burgers served on soft buns. Crocky says the menu is constantly evolving.
People's tastes have changed greatly, and the kids have changed greatly. Kids have much more complex tastes too now, and they want healthier alternatives or fresher alternatives, not so much packaged items. So we tried to offer that to them.
A recommendation, buy the all-inclusive pass at the front gate, which will prevent you from having to pay extra to see a lot of the exhibits inside. Now, the zoo is 100% trans fat free, and the food court we visited, called La Gran Cocina, is located near the Living Coast exhibit. For more information, go to the website, abc7chicago.com. More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to all the stories and videos. Or call the info line, 312-750-7096. I think this is a great idea.
Okay, we are in shock.
Oh, man.
Isn't it great?
Delicious.
I'm stunned.
This is parfait here. I'll show you what I brought. Okay,
Wow.
so look, some nice tacos here on griddled tortillas. Your choice of fillings, guac and sauce. Then up here, nice parfaits with peaches and yogurt and
Yummy.
granola, which is very healthy. Over here, a really good Cuban panini. I'm telling you, I like this Cuban sandwich. You guys liked it?
We ate it.
You ate it?
It's
Yeah,
good.
very good Cuban. Back here, the turkey burger, extremely juicy, very good turkey burger, I think. And then back here, the nice organic turkey and multigrain bread.
Okay, I
for a
really
little healthier touch.
appreciate this.
You do.
I do. As
Yeah,
a mom, you know, when you go to these places, you just know that there's
It's
no
always
point in
chicken
trying.
fingers
Yes.
and mac and cheese. I know this is a much better option. I
And
think,
as a person who appreciates food, perhaps more than the animals, I will go with this.
Yeah.
I will go with this.
Hey, do you want to go to the zoo?
Let's
go. Let's
all go.
Yeah,
for
now we
different
can go.
reasons. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll be right back. This is really good.
Hope you know that the Taste of Greece kicks off tonight in Chicago's Greektown.
All weekend long, people will be eating gyros, lamb, saganaki, but our Hungry Hound says that Halstead Street is not the only place to get a taste of Greek culture. And here's ABC7's Steve Dolinsky with more.
It's a long way from Halstead Street, but Papa Spiro's Greek Taverna in Oak Park is trying to attract locals with its own spin on classic recipes.
It was my father's dream to bring the healthy Greek diet all the way from Greece to a nice place which is not as populated.
Of course, there's nothing new with a Greek salad, but consider some of their homey dishes, such as a slow-cooked lamb stewed with giant artichokes, or an assortment of stuffed roasted peppers. Even the spanakopita, a stack of crisped phyllo, sautéed spinach and cheese, is hearty and yet familiar.
We do use the traditional dishes of the spanakopita, moussaka, the pasticcio, the dolmades, but the way he marinates and he makes them, they're a little bit different than other restaurants.
Another somewhat different approach to Greek food is in Ravenswood at the neighborhood-friendly Mythos, run by Tony DiMiola and her sister. Their philosophy is cook to order.
I think in many restaurants, especially in Greektown, they pre-cook halfway, then they finish it upon the order being called in. That's something we just don't do.
A great starter is the kolokito kefteres, traditional pancakes made from zucchini. Even the saganaki is unique. Flamed in the kitchen, they use a different cheese than you'd find on Halstead. Lamb chops are like lollipops, and the Greek salad could easily feed two. The imported feta they use has just enough salinity to it. The dish that really sets Mythos apart is their pasticcio, a casserole of sorts. Layers of pasta and ground beef are buried beneath a cap of bechamel sauce, which is baked until golden.
98% of our customers will say, my gosh, I never knew Greek food was this good. Because Greek food has over the years a great historical value on Halsted Street, but it has lost its originality somewhere down the line, which we're trying to bring back.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the taste of Greece. Certainly all the businesses along Halsted will be busy this weekend, but isn't it good to know there are a couple of great places off the beaten path doing their own spin on classic Greek recipes? In Ravenswood, Steve Dolinsky, ABC 7 News.
And Steve also reminds us, do not forget about the Athenian Room in Lincoln Park for their famous Greek chicken, of course. More information, you should go to our website. That's at abc7chicago.com. Always click on More ABC7. That's in the left margin. Then you will see the Hungry Hound tab, and that's going to link you to all of Steve's stories and his videos. Or just call the info line. That's 312-750-7096. And we have some food and desserts. This is from Papa Spiro's in Oak Park. Listen, we were explain to us what this was, right? We know
Stuffed
this is
peppers. Yeah, these are delicious right here. All kinds of different peppers. I was already digging in.
Yes, me too. Right, so that's good. All right. And this looks like a vegetable stew. Potatoes, all kinds of yummy vegetables in there.
Right.
That looks great too. And this is that slow-cooked lamb there with all of the artichoke hearts. Yum. Okay, and if you have room after eating all of this stuff, time for dessert. All right. This is
if you have room, you have to make room for this, Linda.
Okay, right. We're going to eat this, all right?
Exactly.
All right. This is a walnut cake, all right? And I'm not sure exactly which dessert this is, but we tried it and it's good.
Yeah, they're all good. That walnut cake is fabulous too.
Yeah, so we tried it all.
Yummy stuff. I'm going to have another bite here in the meantime, but first let me go ahead and talk. In the meantime, let's go ahead and tell you about what the Hungry Hound is up to tonight at 10. Upscale dining worth a road trip. Steve's Friday night special features hot restaurants in a community that some may overlook for eating out. They'll have that coming up.
Okay.
The economy may be tough on a lot of people right now, and that means going out to eat is a luxury for many.
So our Hungry Hound is here to help. Over the next 3 weeks, he's going to be profiling a few restaurants where you can find a hearty meal for less than $10. And he's calling it Affordable Fridays. Steve joins us now with the details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, our only guidelines for this experiment were no fast food chains and no greasy spoons. We wanted to find places where you could sit down, have a hearty meal, and get out for less than $10. Our first trip is to Skokie, where a venerable Middle Eastern restaurant has one of the best lunch specials in all of Chicago. Since 1982, the Pita Inn has offered one of the best deals in Skokie, if not the entire region. For a few hours each day, they offer the ultimate lunch combo, and the amount of customers who flock here reflects its popularity.
We only raised our prices twice in 26 years. We still have a combination special, which has all the meats, shish kebab, kifta kebab, shawarma, and falafel, rice salad, and pita bread, all for $3.95.
It's one thing to offer a combo. It's quite another to make all of it from scratch on the premises. Consider one small element, the falafel. First, they grind up chickpeas with whole garlic, cloves, and white onions. Fresh parsley is added to give it color. Once the mixture is collected in a bowl, it's ground up a second time, but now they add cumin, coriander, and sesame to the resulting blend. Finally, it's mixed up with a giant hook, and almost immediately, it's whisked out to the front where it's rapidly formed over a falafel spoon, then dropped into a deep fryer for about 3 minutes. Served solo or with lettuce and tomato in a sandwich, it's the perfect vegetarian meal.
Everything is from scratch. My father, when he opened in 1982, he was the chef. He trained each one of our chefs in all the other locations. So the recipe has been the same for 26 years.
There's also ample amounts of homemade beef shawarma sliced on the spit, as well as chicken. Tabbouleh salad is loaded with parsley, onions, and tomatoes, surrounded by pickled turnips and briny olives. While the hummus and baba ganoush are both smooth and ready for ample dipping by warm pita bread, it's made at their bakery next door. Kibbeh is another tasty starter, loaded with ground beef and pine nuts. Desserts are limited, but homemade as well. Flaky baklava loaded with honey and nuts, or kinafa, a syrupy sweet phyllo concoction worthy of any Middle Eastern home. Tabahi says whether it's lunch or dinner, his customer base is wide.
We like to cater to everyone. Our clientele is, from the students to the doctors, lawyers, any type of customer.
Pita Inn also has locations in Wheeling and Glenview, and at the original in Skokie, they also have an adjacent bakery and grocery store where you can pick up all kinds of delicious Middle Eastern ingredients and snacks, like I did when I was there. For more information, just go to the website, abc7chicago.com. More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all my stories and videos, or just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I brought you two main things, really important things from Pita Inn. It's so colorful, by the way. I just love it. So over here, this is just a vegetarian sampler platter, really. It's got falafel, baba ganoush, hummus, tabbouleh salad, Jerusalem salad, dolmades. I love these pickled turnips, too. Some hot sauce and some creamy sauce, like a tzatziki. And then over here, this is the famous lunch combo. Now, it's $3.95, a buck extra for the chicken, $4.95.
Wow.
But $3.95 without the chicken, $4.95 with the chicken. So good. It's just such a great deal. There's a line almost out the door every day at lunchtime for this.
That's good.
Go there any time of day, and everything you can get up for under $10. Now,
I can't believe that.
It's amazing. I know.
Yeah.
We'll keep eating. So now, next Tuesday, in honor of Mexican Independence Day, the first ever Buen Provecho Pilsen gets underway. You're going to be able to sample dishes from more than 25 of the best places to eat in that neighborhood, which has got some great restaurants. Tickets just $20 in advance. More info, 312-7...
Every Friday this month, our Hungry Hound has been looking for affordable meals where you can get in and out for less than $10.
That's good, too. He's found another one this week offering a taste of Cajun and Creole fare. It's just west of Greektown. And Steve Dolinsky joins us with details. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Laissez les bon temps rouler, as they say down there. Now, this week's pick falls well below our $10 threshold. It's a popular name in Indianapolis, serving up simple stews and soups over white rice. It may not be exactly like eating in the Big Easy, but for a hearty, inexpensive meal, it sure does the trick. Joe Vuskovic still remembers the meals of his childhood growing up in and around New Orleans. His passion for large plates of food at reasonable prices has led to Yats, a Cajun Creole-themed eatery with 5 locations in Indianapolis, and a new one along Randolph Street in Westtown.
When I was a kid, there was places like this, with grocery stores, you'd get a big plate of food for 50 cents. And it was to create that feeling.
The menu rotates daily with about 6 or 7 entrees. All of them are either stews, etouffees, gumbos, or chili, which are ladled over a mound of white rice. You can go half and half as well. A black bean and corn makshu begins with a river of butter and a ton of sugar. Like all dishes, they're made in large quantities. Once the sugar is caramelized a bit, chopped white onions are added, as are corn kernels and a few spices, including white, black, and red pepper. Vuskovic chops up some fresh red bell peppers and adds those as well. The dish takes a while to make, and once finished is whisked out to the front, where it waits on a steam table for the orders to come in. Other options include red beans and rice with a mild andouille sausage, a dark roux-based gumbo that's aided by shrimp, and an oddly thickened chili cheese etouffee. There's usually 1 or 2 desserts to choose from. On this day, it was a sweet and crumbly cheesecake topped off with pecans. Vuskovic says the Chicago branch was planned in spite of the current economy, but timing sure doesn't hurt.
I think it's good timing any time to have something that's everybody likes a deal.
Now, most plates run just $5. If you get a half and half, add another $1 or so. Now, if you want beer or wine, the restaurant is BYOB, which also will save you some money. Now, for more information, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab, and that will link you to all of my stories and videos, or call the info line. We update that every Wednesday, 312-750-7096. And I brought you 2 of my favorite things from the restaurant here, some gumbo and some jambalaya. Here, first the jambalaya. Lots of great rice, andouille sausage. I'd like the sausage a little spicier. I told the folks when I was there. They're working on that.
Oh, see, I like it that way.
You like
So
it
they
that
need
way?
to make 2 versions.
I like it a little spicier. Okay, and then over here, the gumbo, shrimp, crawfish. You get an andouille sausage over the white rice. Good, solid fare for $5. Now, coming up tonight at 10, we're going to have a celebration of the city's high-end cuisine, including wine from all over the country. This is nothing at all at the Taste of Chicago. My Friday night special features the kickoff for Chicago Gourmet this weekend. Some great wine, some Terlato there, lots of great classes and seminars, and all kinds of stuff going on all weekend long. We're going to talk about it live tonight at
That's going to be fun. This is the first year they're doing it.
First year they're doing it, yeah. They're going to emulate what they've been doing in Aspen the last 25 years, but they're going to kick off this year. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Making good use of them, preparing a famous dish that has Southern roots. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with the details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, you hear a lot of talk this time of year about heirloom tomatoes in the late summer, and now that it's officially fall, you're going to be hearing about fried green tomatoes. Yes, it was the title of a movie, but it's also a well-known dish with Southern roots that makes the most of an abundant crop late into the year.
There are few restaurants in Chicago where all things Southern are prepared with such reverence. At Table 52 in the Gold Coast, Southern dishes and ingredients are reinterpreted. Take the fried green tomatoes.
The tomato plants, go right into the fall, and so you have all these green tomatoes. And the fact was, people didn't waste anything, and so people would fry things.
But first they're dredged in flour, then dunked in buttermilk, and finally thoroughly coated in fine cornmeal laced with fresh herbs. Deep fried for just a minute or so, they're stacked 3 high along with layers of smoked bacon, herb goat cheese, and greens, topped with a drizzle of balsamic vinegar and surrounded by an olive tapenade and sun-dried tomatoes. Clearly, a long way from the dish's roots.
There's something called show business, okay? Show business and the restaurant business are very much kindred spirits, okay? You'll go other places where they'll serve it with maybe a remoulade, or maybe they will serve it by itself with a little salt on it.
In Hyde Park, the dish is prepared and served in a much more humble manner at the Dixie Kitchen and Bait Shop, which also has locations in Evanston and Lansing.
It's an appetizer. A lot of people order just that. A lot of people order as an appetizer starter. Every 8 out of 10 people order tomatoes.
The thickly cut tomatoes are first dredged in seasoned flour, then briefly dipped in water before being thoroughly coated in cornmeal. They're fried for just a minute or two, and to serve, they're plated along with some shredded lettuce and a handful of chopped scallions.
It's a simple dish, but it's very tasty.
And on a side note, one of the other dishes that was just spectacular at Table 52 was the shrimp and grits, a real low country dish from the Carolinas, and I guarantee that's going to be the subject of another story down the road. But for now, for more information, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos, or very simply call the info line, which we update every Wednesday, 312-750-7096. Brought you both versions here, one real simple, one a little fancier, from Dixie Kitchen and Bait Shop. Just simple fried green tomatoes, a little lettuce and scallions. Boom, that's it. Maybe a little hot sauce if you want to kind of bump it up a little bit. And then over here, Table 52's version with the herb goat cheese and the olive tapenade and the sun-dried tomatoes and the herb oil. Where's the bacon? They forgot the bacon.
Oh, Art, where's our bacon?
But there should be bacon in there as well, and very different treatments, don't you think, of the same ingredient?
Very, very nice. So you said the shrimp and grits are there too?
And the shrimp and grits is very good
so
there
is
as
the
well.
Macaroni and cheese.
And the macaroni and cheese you like as well. There's several
hummingbird cake.
Yeah, there's several stories down the road, but they both do fried green tomatoes very, very well.
Very nice.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
I have nothing to say. I'm just eating.
Just continue to eat. That's what I like. All right.
We'll be right back.
This is really
Some people are cutting back on eating out during these tough times, but our food reporter says a hot new restaurant is proving you can still eat well without breaking the bank.
It's Friday Night Special, and Steve Dolinsky joining us tonight with a taste.
Yes, great flavors and a very good value, Ron and Kathy. Now, you know those cheap packets of ramen you used to buy for $1? College students have survived on them for years. Now imagine a 4-star trained chef using high-quality imported noodles, making his own broths and adding some of the finest veggies he can find. The result? A Northwest Side experiment called Urban Belly.
These aren't the dried packaged college dinner ramen noodles you might be accustomed to, mainly because they come from a place called Urban Belly, a noodle emporium devoted to using the highest quality ingredients.
It's something that I have learned to like, traveling through Southeast Asia. Love the brightness of the flavors of Vietnam, Cambodia. So it's a hybrid of many different cultures.
Kim is Korean-born, but his love of Japanese ingredients and Southeast Asian broths form the basis of his menu. Consider the ramen. Imported from Japan, he boils them briefly, then lays 3 slabs of pork belly over the top, finally ladling in a rich, earthy, Vietnamese-inspired beef stock to enrich the noodles. Soba noodles are also briefly boiled, placed in a wide bowl, then joined by vibrant Chinese broccoli and plump bay scallops, finished with a hearty blue crab broth. Even his Asian egg noodles stand out, stir-fried with spicy garlic chili. They're mounded with baby bok choy and Chinese eggplant. Kim's fusion approach extends to his fried rices. Some have pea shoots and basil, others pork belly and pineapple. This fat version combines them all, along with marinated grilled short ribs crowning the top.
That's one of the things that I love. I cook it with basmati rice, which is a lot more fragrant, has a lot more flavor. and I add a little citrus zest at the end, and I finish with some fried shallots.
A handful of dumplings are also on offer, all of them made in-house. His lamb and brandy dumplings arrive on a bed of edamame, each one dotted with a sun-dried tomato and black bean garnish, while the entire dish is drizzled with a mild soy balsamic sauce. Dumplings and rice are great, but it's the noodles and their tasty companions in the bowl that will impress the novice noodle consumer.
I take the elements of fine dining, which has textural differences, but it's done in a way where everybody understands tofu, noodles, crispy, crunchy, and soft.
Nothing on the menu tops $13. The dumplings and rices average about $7. So the restaurant is open for lunch and dinner. But please do me a favor, folks. Wait a day or 2 or 3, because if everybody goes there tomorrow, nobody's going to get served in a timely manner. The place is pretty small, only about 4 communal tables. Now, more information about Urban Belly, go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 left side. There's the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to my stories and videos, or just call the info line, real easy, 312-750-7096. Also, free parking in their parking lot and BYOB, so you can really save money on this place.
I will wait, but you found my price point.
Yes.
You know they're going to be packed tomorrow.
Yeah, but wait.
All right,
Okay.
we'll wait.
Okay.
We're also waiting.
I missed the purple memo.
This week's chilly weather has had a lot of us huddled inside over steaming bowls of soup. It's our food reporter's favorite meal this time of year, but he suggests branching out from the usual chicken noodle or clam chowder, which I dearly love. It's his Friday night special. Steve Dolinsky here.
You know it's going to be
Yeah,
great.
nothing wrong with chicken noodle, but there's a lot of other stuff out there, guys. I love soup. Now, since I was born in Minnesota, 3 things you cannot escape in the winter: hockey, ice fishing, and soup, especially wild rice soup. But in Chicago, soup options range from standard chili to Southeast Asian pho. So as we prepare to deal with chilly temperatures over the next several weeks, we decided to tuck into 3 different bowls of comfort.
Ironically, in a country without winter, a steaming bowl of Vietnamese pho is the perfect antidote to a Chicago January. At Hai Yen, with locations in Lincoln Park and on Argyle Street in Uptown, pho is one of the season's best sellers.
When people were sick and a little bit bad cold, something like that, we always recommend they eat pho. And after you eat pho, they feel much better.
Rice noodles sit at the bottom of a bowl. They're topped with beef, your choice of brisket, flank, or thinly sliced eye of round. Cilantro, scallions, and white onion are scattered over the top. Then the rich cinnamon and clove spiked beef broth, which literally cooks the raw beef in seconds. At the table, fresh basil, lime, bean sprouts, and jalapeno are offered, so you can doctor up the pho to your liking, adding crunch and citrus. A little sweet or spicy chili sauce is also on hand to add flavor to the beef. In Mexico, the soup of choice is pozole, a stew of hominy, which is just cooked corn kernels, plus chunks of pork and a pork broth. It's on the menu every day at the venerable Pozoleria San Juan in Humboldt Park.
It's popular year-round, but mostly, of course, when it's cold outside. Everybody likes a warm soup.
They have 3 types: white, which is simply pork broth; red, which has guajillo chiles; and green, containing serranos and jalapenos. Like pho, the pozole arrives with condiments: fresh avocado, chopped onions, and lime, plus sliced radish and shredded cabbage, also fried tortillas and chicharrones, fried pork skin. Customizing your pozole adds several layers of flavor. It's a hearty meal in a bowl, easily feeding 2.
1 easy beans, 2 no beans.
Since 1929, the Ramova Grill in Bridgeport has been a beacon not only to several mayoral administrations, but to anyone craving a bowl of homemade chili.
You know, they say we're going to go to the chili parlor. They know exactly what you're talking about.
You can get it over kidney beans, or for a taste of Cincinnati, have it over some spaghetti, with or without beans. It's hearty, meaty, and filling, and the only condiments needed are some oyster crackers.
It isn't just a bowl of chili. I mean, people love it on their omelets. They love it on tamales. We take pride in our chili.
On the tamale, good. Another good chili option, Lindy's Gerties. They've got locations all over the southwest side. Now, we are just scratching the surface here. There's Japanese ramen at Tempopo in Albany Park, Dominican sancocho from Gloria's Cafe in Logan Square, one of my all-time favorites, matzo ball soup from the Bagel at Old Orchard Mall. Now, for more information about any of the places mentioned tonight, just go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on Resources in the left margin. You're going to see the Hungry Hound tab there. Or call the info line, 312-750-7096. Impeccable timing this weekend, right? It's going to get warmer now, I guess?
Yes. So good.
But it is still good all winter.
And that tamale was perfect.
That's called a mother-in-law. They put the chili over the tamale. They call that a mother-in-law. That's a big thing on the south side.
We'll figure that out.
All righty.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
A fierce storm is bearing down on portions of California, and the National Weather Service is warning that traveling in
to travel too far for today's good snack.
It's very nice, right across the street from our studio, but he says convenience is only a small part of the story here. He's revisiting a spot that continues to expand in the city, both in locations and in the size of its menu. And Steve Zielinski joins us now with the details about our friends. We love them.
We do love them. A lot of ABC7 folks eat there frequently, I know. Now, my first day on the job here at ABC7, I featured a little kiosk in Water Tower Place called Wow Bao. Now, since that opening 4 years ago, they've added another location in the South Loop. And just a few weeks ago, added a third location at the State and Lake. Now, the reason we're revisiting this again isn't so much about the bao as it is the greatly expanded menu with options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
After 4 years in business, you could say the Wow Bao concept has taken off, now with 3 locations in Chicago, including the latest one in the Loop with an entrance near State and Lake. The founders decided to take the concept of the bao, essentially a steamed bun with savory fillings, and expand it.
And so we started working with the filling that goes in with the bao. Bruce Koss, my partner, came up with the filling that goes into the bao and how does that work with rice dishes. And then we thought, well, since bao's a dumpling essentially, we could then add steamed dumplings or we could add pot stickers.
Actually, they have both. The pot stickers have a nice texture, and the dumplings are also worthwhile. You get a choice of sesame mustard or soy ginger dipping sauce. Other non-bao options include having that filling, whether it's Thai curry, teriyaki, or kung pao chicken, even barbecued pork, scattered over either steamed rice or Chinese egg noodles. Soup is another option. Having a few dumplings submerged in the rich broth is always a bonus. And they're even attempting to expand the menu, offering breakfast bao in the morning.
We have an egg bao, and we now have this keep a bowl, which is an egg dish. We're going to let people keep the bowl in it also, so it expands our breakfast options.
Lighter meals include a pad thai salad that arrives with an assertively seasoned dressing. And for dessert, some tasty little mochi from Japan. Ice cream is surrounded by glutinous rice. There's both mango and chocolate. Brown says it's not exactly the most authentic Chinese representation of bao, but the fillings are more mainstream, which appeals to a wider population.
We do curry, we do kung pao, we do Mongolian beef. We do flavors that might be more familiar to the average diner, similar to what they might get in a Chinese restaurant, but we do them in a bao.
The hours vary for each location. While the new locations open all day on weekends, South Loop location is closed on weekends, so just be sure to call ahead. Here's the information. Wow Bao, 1 West Wacker. A little deceiving. I think the entrance is more State and Lake, but that's the address. 312-658-0305. Also, 175 West Jackson, 312-334-6395. And 835 North Michigan, that first place I did on ABC7 in Water Tower, 312-642-5888. Now, for more information, go to the website, abc7chicago.com, click on Resources, and you'll see Hungry Hound. There it is on the left side. You can find all of my stories and recent videos, abc7chicago.com, or info line 312-750-7096. Brought you a couple different things here. Now, here's the bao, different kinds here. There's almost like a wheat bao as well, but
I haven't seen
different
those.
fillings. There's beef and there's teriyaki chicken and more familiar things, not like you'd find in Chinatown as much. You know, frankly, I'm not as big of a fan as the bao as I am the other stuff now at this new location. I love the dumplings. Dumplings are really good, delicate, handmade. Pot stickers also very good. Nice little crisp texture on the outside there, which is key. A 4-season vegetable here with great vegetables, not just your standard celery or carrot, but like gailan, Chinese broccoli, beets, wonderful things on rice. Different.
These are my favorites. The rice and noodle bowls. I love those.
Thai curry is excellent. And then here's the keepa bowls, which you're digging into a little bit.
I know.
Yeah, there's little egg.
Tell us about this.
Well, egg and spinach or ham and cheese, whatever, and you get to keep the bowl. And if you come back to the store, obviously you turn it in for another one. But you can keep these bowls. They're called keepa bowls.
You know, I'm a big fan of the breakfast menu.
Yeah, the breakfast is really good. They've got the breakfast bao, and so
You know what else
it's a
they
lot
have?
more.
I love. They have fresh fruit in the morning, cut up, and it's good.
And good oatmeal.
Yeah. soups from around the world.
And this week he is off to France, and where he has found an authentic version of bouillabaisse, the classic fisherman's stew. And Steve Dolinsky joins us now with more details. Steve?
Judy and Sylvia, this is great stuff. Now, West Town has a number of good restaurants. Most of them are very close to Harpo Studios, and directly across the street from Harpo is La Sardine, a casual French bistro where they offer bouillabaisse year-round. Now, the hearty seafood soup is especially good this time of year when we all could use a little getaway to the south of France.
What could be more satisfying in the middle of winter than a trip to the French Riviera? You can certainly take your palate there, courtesy of bouillabaisse, which is recreated with exacting standards at La Sardine, a casual bistro in River West where fisherman's stew can take on different appearances.
It can be very fancy and it can be very simple. It doesn't really matter.
The most labor-intensive part is making the stock. It starts with the usual suspects: celery, onions, fresh thyme, and carrots. Also a few bay leaves and black peppercorns, plus a few tablespoons of paprika. After some vigorous sautéing, the French accents kick in.
Tomato, of course, because the Riviera has lots of tomato, they know what to do. Garlic, because there's a lot of garlic. Fennel, for the perfume of the anise perfume. And fish balls to make, otherwise your stock is going to be very weak.
Some French white wine doesn't hurt, and finally, enough water to cover everything. It boils rapidly, then simmers for about 45 minutes. At this point, the stock is strained through 2 chinois, or strainers. The intense liquid is reserved for the actual soup, while everything else is discarded. Out in the front kitchen, that reserved liquid is heated slowly, along with a bevy of seafood: whitefish, monkfish, mahi, scallops, calamari, shrimp, plus lobster and clams, and some coarsely chopped tomatoes. It's covered for just a few minutes until the shellfish open. To serve, the seafood goes in the bowl first, with the aid of a slotted spoon. Then finally the rich, intense broth is ladled over the top. 2 slabs of toast are coated in a saffron lace rouille consisting of mashed potato, garlic, and olive oil. They make the most perfect dipping utensils to ever grace a bowl of fisherman's stew.
People love bouillabaisse.
Of course we love bouillabaisse. And Jean-Claude says he also will occasionally offer bouillabaisse at his other restaurant, Les Bouchons, in Bucktown. And here's the information. La Sardine, 111 North Carpenter Street. That's right across from Harpo. 312-421-2800. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. Now remember, click on resources on the left side. You're going to find the Hungry Hound right there, and then you'll find more information about my stories. You can watch videos of everything I've done. Very easy. Or the info line, 312-750-7096. Brought you both some bouillabaisse.
It's beautiful.
By the way, how authentic is it when someone like Jean-Claude says bouillabaisse? This is so gorgeous. Now here, and of course the rouille I love, which is just the potato, garlic, and saffron. But everything here: lobster, clams, mussels, shrimp, potatoes, calamari. It is so hearty. It is just beautiful.
It's so good.
So good this time of year.
Really, really good.
And we're switching gears now from France to Spain for later tonight. So I'm going to tell you about coming up tonight. We're not talking ham, not just any ham. It is the coveted Spanish pata negra ham. And it's only available at a few locations in Chicago. I'm going to tell you why this aged ham is worth the premium price. It is my Friday night special tonight at is it a las 10 at 10. Sí, muy bien. It's going to be so good. It's only available at about 4 or 5 restaurants and 2 or 3 retail locations. It just came in about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Is it a salty type of ham?
It's not salty. It is salted, and then it's air cured and aged for 2 to 3 years.
You can find the flavors of Southeast Asia all over the city's far north side, especially when it comes to Thai and Vietnamese dishes.
However, a Hungry Hound found just one restaurant and focuses on the food from Laos. He has, of course, already tried most of the menu there. He brought a lot of it for us, too. And Steve joins us now with details. Steve?
Yes, Linda and Sylvia, I tasted all that, actually. Now, if you like Thai food, chances are you're going to really like the food from Laos. There are plenty of similarities, mainly coconut milk, fish sauce, young ginger, and lemongrass. But there are also a few differences, and as I found out on a recent trip through a tiny Laotian menu, they make the trip to Uptown worthwhile. It's easy to find Southeast Asian dishes from Vietnam and Thailand while roaming around Uptown, but you've got to look a little harder to find the city's only Laotian option, Sabai Di, which means simply hello.
Our food is less sweet and it has more spice, salty. To me, it's more flavorful.
Since Wang is Chinese, he offers a small assortment of native items from a long, heated display case. But it's the Laotian dishes that are worth the trip. A nam salad begins with rice, flavored with shallots, lemongrass, and a beaten egg. The rice is formed into balls, which are then deep fried. Those crispy, crunchy rice balls are then broken up along with fresh herbs and vegetables, plus chopped nuts to form the eventual salad. Green papaya salads are commonly found in northeastern Thailand, but in Laos, it's a little different.
We have Laotian, and then we use like a crab paste, so it's different flavor. The Thai version, they don't use that. And the Thai is more sweet, and the Lao is on the saucy side.
Another Laotian specialty is homemade sausage. Lemongrass and shallots lend the ground pork some bite, while bouillon powder gives it mouthfeel. Hand-mixed, they add fresh scallions, then feed it through a tube to form a thick, giant link. Rather than fry them, as the Thais often do, they carefully grill them, serving them with peanuts and fresh cilantro. A Lao curry noodle dish is another standout. Fish sauce and coconut milk give it the trademark Southeast Asian accent. But in the bowl, it begins with a crunchy base of shredded cabbage, carrots, and bean sprouts. Soft, boiled vermicelli noodles go on top, plus some fresh herbs such as mint, adding a wonderful aroma. Finally, the coconut milk-flavored curry, which fills the bowl with luxurious richness.
We put cabbage and the carrot, or sometimes you see bean sprout, just to get the different texture.
There are a few goodies set out on the counter for quick snacking, such as Lao beef jerky or tiny fish cakes. If you like coconut, try the dessert containing a liquidy blend of both coconut and tapioca. It's irresistible. Another peculiar fruit is lamut, which is blended to make beguiling smoothies that taste like nothing else.
Sapota or lamut. It's a brownish, like a kiwi size. It's hard to, you need to try it.
Yeah, you got to try that. Now, there are also some decent Chinese dishes on the hot steam table at Sub ID, but honestly, if you're going to make the trip, you might as well try the Lao food. And here's the information. Sub ID, 5359 North Broadway, 773-506-80880. More information, abc7chicago.com. Now, click on Resources on the left margin. You're going to find the Hungry Hound tab right there. Click on that, and you've got a link to all my stories with videos and all the good stuff. Or the info line, 312-750-7096. I brought you a couple different things here from Laos.
Just a couple.
Very interesting because it's so similar to Thai food, but yet it's a little different. Now, the nam salad here. It's those fried rice balls.
Sure.
There's also some Chinese sausage, some little Chinese ham in there, and then lots of cilantro, just like in Thailand.
And then tell us about this. We don't.
Those are, well, decoration, but they're spicy chilies. Don't eat those. Be careful.
Don't eat those.
Up here, the sausage, which reminds me a lot of a northeastern Thai sausage, but again, they don't fry it, they grill it, okay? And then again, not that spicy. Down here, very spicy. This is the papaya salad called som tom in Thailand, but here a little bit different. As he said, a little bit more salty, not as sweet. Over here, I love this. It's a chicken coconut milk curry with the noodles, kind of like a northeastern, again, northern Thai dish that I like called khao soi, but very different in Laos. And then up here for dessert, a little coconut milk with tapioca and fresh fruit, very refreshing. And then up here is this really interesting lamut, or sapota. It's this fruit that they've got from Laos, which he gets in and they make into smoothies. I can't describe it. It's sort of like, is it coconutty? Is it fruity? Is it passion fruity? What do you think? Passion fruit, coconut kind of?
Yeah, it's a combination.
Yeah,
you got it.
Really
you got it. That's what it is.
Really,
Yeah.
that's why I'm a professional.
It's refreshing. That's right.
It's very interesting stuff, so definitely worth the trip up there.
He needs to tell us he's a professional.
And a great one.
That's right. You're the best.
In case you didn't know it. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to eat now and then we'll be right back. China, he begins with an explanation of Sichuan for some truly spicy food. Here's ABC7's Steve Dolinsky.
There's nothing like a bunch of spicy food lovers gathering around heaping plates of authentic Szechuan fare. The latest restaurant to focus on the famed region is easy to miss along Cermak Road in Chinatown. Double Lee is the result of owner Ben Lee's passion as he attempts to turn diners on to his spicy native cuisine.
I think in Chinatown, the people like the spicy food. A lot of American people like spicy food right now. So that's why I want to do like a real Chinese food right here. First thing, the customer coming, they will ask, your chef is from Sichuan? Yeah, otherwise they just go on.
But when they see dishes like twice-cooked pork belly jammed with stir-fried leeks or mapo tofu saturated in chilies and oil, they'll know they're in the right place. One dish that's a must is the black pepper garlic beef tenderloin. Slices of tender beef are quickly deep-fried, strained, then deep-fried again, and once they're finally cooked, lots of garlic and oyster sauce are heated in the wok, eventually joined by the cooked beef and plenty of fresh black pepper, which is literally pushed into the beef while it cooks. Crunchy garlic, salt, and pepper shrimp begins with flash-fried shrimp. Once removed, rice noodles are tossed and stir-fried in the wok, and then they're removed. Finally, garlic, scallions, and peppers are stir-fried and tossed along with the cooked shrimp. Both items are plated over the cooked noodles, and while it's considered a mild dish, Lee says he can always tailor the heat levels depending on the customer's tolerance level.
First thing I will ask the customer, you like spicy? How spicy do you like? Then I make it. If you don't like spicy, we make a non-spicy food for you. If some customer like, I want real spicy.
Now, of course, the hallmarks of Szechuan cuisine are the chilies, and you can tell they're not messing around here because you spend a couple of minutes in the kitchen and you can smell and taste the vapors of those chilies in the back of your throat. It's a very good thing. In Chinatown, Steve Dolinsky, ABC 7 News. That was great.
He
It's
likes
great.
that.
Yes.
And Steve has discovered another good bet for authentic Sichuan fare. It's Lao Sichuan, and they have locations in Chinatown as well as in Downers Grove. Here's all of the information. Double Lee is at 228 West Cermak Road, 312-842-7818. Now, for more information, you can go to our website, abc7chicago.com. Remember, click on Resources on the left margin, and then you'll see the Hungry Hound tab, and that links you to all of Steve's stories and videos. Call his info line also, if you'd like to, 312-750-7096. And Steve is off today, but he's making sure we have some dishes. These are from the Double Lee restaurant. And this one you're looking at, served beautifully, is black pepper beef tenderloin. And over here, one of the dishes actually my kids love.
Yeah. Today is the first day of the Chinese New Year, in case you didn't know. 4706, if you're keeping track. And every week this month, our Hungry Hound is featuring a different theme for his reports.
Now, this week he's been taking a closer look at the regional cuisines that are within China for his explanation of Hunan. He invited me along for the trip. Yummy. We stopped in a Chinatown favorite for a true taste of that region. Here's ABC7's Steve Dolinsky.
One of the finest examples of true Hunanese cuisine can be found in the Chinatown Square Mall. Spring World just underwent a major renovation, and during a recent lunch hour, Linda and I stopped in to sample some of the regional specialties.
The Hunan style, this region we're talking about, Hunan. It's known for a couple of ingredients, like mushrooms.
Mushrooms, very much so.
Lamb.
Lamb. In fact, they do a whole banquet that's just all lamb, too.
And here they put cumin with the lamb, which is interesting.
You like that, don't you?
I like the cumin, yeah, I do.
Another Hunan classic is the Crossing the Bridge noodle soup, loaded with shrimp, pork, chicken, rice noodles, and fried tofu. Linda especially loves the noodles.
They're just sort of, they're chewy, right?
Yep.
Kind of.
Now, one of your favorites is right here.
Yeah.
Right. This is a Chairman Mao pork.
Chairman Mao pork, yeah.
Okay.
I love this. Now, it's a little bit difficult because it's a little bit fatty, but it's the pots. Now, the Yunnan is also known for this. It's the kind of earthenware pot that they cook a number of things in.
Mushrooms are everywhere on a Hunan menu. Spring World uses both dried and fresh varieties.
Now, over here, mushrooms. You said mushrooms are big?
Mushrooms are really big in this entire province.
Okay.
So all kinds of mushrooms. And so you have a dish like this where it's basically the mushrooms have been dried, all right? So they are cooked with, once again, those either scallions or those garlic chives.
Linda says it's rare to find a taste of Hunan tucked among all of the Cantonese offerings.
And to have one of these restaurants here, which specializes in this, and I know you love it because you love to learn about new things. Yeah. And so some people might look at it and say, oh, this is just Chinese food. But it's a different cuisine of China that we don't know too much about.
Yeah, there's no sweet and sour anything here.
No,
and there's no General Tso's chicken.
No,
right. It's really different.
Chairman's.
Chairman.
Right.
And I'm surprised by all the chilies. I always thought the spicy stuff was from Szechuan only. But they use a lot of chili in...
Yunnan is next to Sichuan.
Even side dishes can be exotic, or not.
Pig ear, stomach, gizzards, but then there are also vegetables too, which you liked a lot.
Yeah, the celery was great. There's cucumbers.
And fresh bamboo shoots.
Yeah, so you don't have to go exotic. You can just do vegetarian also.
Right, yeah. It's good, isn't it?
Cool, I'm excited. Well, let's eat.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Or 吃好.
吃好.
And Steve reminds us, if you're interested in seeing the big parade this weekend for Chinese New Year, steps off in Chinatown, Sunday, 1 p.m. Yeah, you can tell I'm eating here. And here's the information. Spring World, 2109A, South China Place. That's in Chinatown Square Mall. The phone number there is 312-326-9966. For more information, you can go to the website, abc7chicago.com. Remember, you need to click on Resources, which is on the left margin. Then you see the Hungry Hound tab. That links you to all of Steve's stories and all of his videos, including this one about Spring World. Or you can call the info line. That's 312-750-7096. Steve isn't here right now, but he made sure we had some of these dishes, okay, from Spring World, including right there. Take a look at that. That is, my children love it. I love it. That's the Chairman Mao pork.
Chairman Mao pork.
Right. And when it's cooked there, it's cooked in this clay pot. And, you know, it's a bit fatty, so I cut the fat off as I'm eating it, but it is just delicious. And then the other dish there,
which I really like too.
Yes, Sylvia really likes that one. That's what we were talking about. In that particular province of Yunnan, there are so many different kinds of mushrooms, and mushrooms galore. So we love
this is mixed with
garlic chives.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Okay, how do you pronounce that? I said Hunan. Can you tell him?
Yunnan.
Yunnan. Okay.
We get it, right?
Got it.
Okay.
Very good.
And then a reminder coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, we kept on eating. Steve and I are celebrating the Chinese New Year with a tasted tour of some other of the cuisines of China. And we go to 3 different restaurants. That's tonight on the news at 10 o'clock.
Very fun. When we come back, one of the biggest events.
Up a South Loop gem where truffles and gelatos share space with dipped fruit and some other unique treats. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with details. Steve?
Yum.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yeah, this is a big yum, Sylvia. I know you like this. Now, students at Columbia College have no doubt already discovered Canada Le Chocolatier, named for owner Michael Canada. The sliver-thin shop reflects his worldly travels, and they've recently expanded their production line to include gelato and some individual pastries. But this week, of course, it's all about the chocolate. Handmade and homemade, that's the mantra at the tiny, unassuming Canada Le Chocolatier in the South Loop.
We're a little original here because we do everything from scratch. If you look at anything we have in the case, it's all made here, all in our back room with 3 of us, and it's, you know, it's pretty fun.
Fun is the operative word when describing their shapes and flavors, from the pyramids to King Tut. They love to work with color and exotic flavors.
Most of the other markets in Chicago do not make their chocolate on site. They produce them outside, and most of them are usually just retail shops where they sell their chocolates.
Through a glass window display case, it's easy to see what the staff is working on.
We use a Swiss chocolate, and it's, you know, roughly between 60 and 70%. But some people like it sweeter, some people like it bitter, and so we try and have a variety of each.
Whether they're dipping strawberries in dark or milk chocolate, or just hand-painting molds for chocolate boxes, the small staff makes everything themselves.
The flavor's good, it's all fresh. It's a lot of fresh cream and butter ganaches. The flavors are original too. Other chocolatiers do many of the same flavors and different varieties as well.
There are classic combos such as chocolate and raspberry, but there's also an emphasis on Italian flavors.
For example, our balsamic vinaigrette. We had a Vinsanto or you know, pomegranate, for example, pumpkin. Our gelatos are really original too. Our flavors are very fresh. I'd say that's the best part about it.
Gift boxes are big business this week, but Canada also makes a perfect little stop after lunch or dinner for a sweet treat. And here's the information. Canada Le Chocolatier, 824 South Wabash, 312-212-1270. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. There you'll find the Hungry Hound tab, linking you to my stories and videos. Or call the info line, which is 312-750-7096. And Michael just dropped off a little gift box for us. First of all, very pretty boxes. I know they did a nice job. And look at this nice assortment here. Beautiful colors, different textures. Everything from orange truffles, mint hearts, cherry creams, white chocolate ganache, chai tea ganache. Really lovely. And it's interesting what I want to show what you guys have done with the bottoms of some of these.
What do you mean?
I appreciate you didn't want to disrupt this beautiful display. But some of these have a little chocolate missing from underneath.
What are you talking about?
A little mascot?
You mean that?
Exactly. Yeah, but this is really beautiful stuff. Nice, elegant work.
It's really pretty.
They do a great job at Kennedy. So
Very
check them
nice.
out. More chocolate on Friday.
Okay.
I know you're
Continue our
disappointed about
chocolate
that.
theme. Excellent.
That's our theme
Very,
this week.
very nice. We'll enjoy, and we'll be right back. Still
Evanston chocolatier, which hasn't changed very much in over 2 decades. And Steve joins us with the details now. Steve?
Yes, Linda and Sylvia, there's a lot of talk in the chocolate business these days about cacao content, the origins of the bean, even the percentage of cocoa in a candy bar. But for more than 20 years, Bob Perrone and his brother have been quietly doing things the same way they always have, transforming giant blocks of Belgian chocolate into tiny handmade creations that will satisfy both milk and dark aficionados. A lot of people claim they make everything from scratch, yet at Belgian chocolatier Perrone in Evanston, you know they're serious because everything here is done the old-fashioned way.
We're staying very true to my education. I was trained as a classical Belgian chocolatier in Antwerp, Belgium, and I've not found any real reason to deviate from that path.
So nothing too avant-garde, just down-to-earth quality chocolates.
We use the Callebaut brand chocolate that we import from Belgium, and we use their top grades, and then we melt it, temper it, and make all of our cream centers from scratch. We do the shell molding, the enrobing, the dipping, all right here and back.
The hum of a tempering machine can be heard throughout the day. Bob's brother, Fred, also helps out. Take molds, for example. The custom molds are first placed beneath a waterfall of dark chocolate. They're set on a vibrating part of the machine to get out the air bubbles, then turned over to get rid of excess chocolate. After a minute or two, they're turned over on a cooling rack, and as the chocolate cools and hardens, any excess chocolate is scraped off. At this point, they can be filled with just about anything.
We have a lot of ganache pieces, passion fruit, plain, with nuts, with some liqueurs in them. But we also have buttercreams, chocolate-based buttercreams.
Even tiny brandy-soaked cherries might be covered with a homemade filling. Perrone says Valentine's Day weekend is certainly busy, but he and his brother never really have a chance to slow down. Someone, after all, has to go in the back and make the chocolates.
We make beautiful chocolate together.
If you really want the full Belgian experience, here's what you do. Pick up a box of chocolates from Perrone, head over to Hopleaf in Andersonville for dinner, and choose from over 100 Belgian beers to go with your mussels and frites. Go see the movie In Bruges, which just came out, and then after the film, dig into your box of chocolates. Here's the information. Belgian chocolatier Perrone, 509 Main Street in Evanston, 847-864-5504. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7. There you'll find the Hungry Hound tab. That'll link you to my stories and videos, or call the info line 312-750-7096. It's really good, obviously, Valentine's Day or past Valentine's Day, because he's always there making chocolates.
Great. Thanks, Steve.
Okay,
Thanks,
yep.
Steve. Thanks very much. And we'll be right back.
Each week this month, our Hungry Hound is featuring a theme to his reports.
Now, so far, he's covered regional Chinese food, also chocolate. Now, this week, he's looking for a little entertainment along with his meals, and he begins in Northbrook. And Steve joins us with the details. Steve.
Yes, Linda and Sylvia, you know, the suburbs, they have given us many things. The open-air mall, free parking, and now a concept called Pinstripes, which offers 2 kinds of bowling plus an ambitious menu. It's a far cry from the neighborhood lanes, and it gives the whole family something to do on a cold winter's day or night. If you build it, they will come. Judging by the first 8 months of operation, the massive Pinstripes in Northbrook is attracting all ages in search of some indoor fun.
This is our first location in the North Shore, intentionally not in a downtown venue, just connecting with communities.
They're connecting over bocce, bowling, and a bistro, the first of which is great for any age group.
Bocce, traditionally Italian, but a lot of people play on the beach, in the backyards. So bocce's a sleeper, and far more people have played it than you'd suspect. And those that haven't played it, all of our team members teach everybody how to play, and it's quite fun.
As for bowling, this is no ordinary beer and burger joint. It's more plush and definitely a lot cleaner than the neighborhood lanes. And the food is a hybrid of both Italian and American. There are lots of flatbreads, like a fig and prosciutto version, which has a nice crust. Even some tasty bruschetta. The week we were there, they came topped with mushrooms and gorgonzola, or tomatoes and mozzarella. They also offer a half-dozen entrees, such as a pine nut-crusted halibut with a very cheesy veggie risotto and some nicely sautéed spinach. A flourless chocolate cake is surrounded by a ring of Cabernet Sauvignon, echoed by some green grapes. There's also a caramelized cheesecake puck, paired with a decent strawberry sauce, a sign the kitchen isn't exactly playing within the seasons, but it seems to be just fine for patrons of the North Shore who love a little entertainment served up alongside their main course.
People are looking for an alternative. And so what we afford them is a phenomenal opportunity to have fun and have terrific food and wine, but just something different than just a typical dining or movie experience.
That's a lot of fun. Additional pinstripes are planned for Barrington, as well as a third location somewhere in the western suburbs. And here's the information. Pinstripes, 1150 Willow Road in Northbrook, 847-480-2323. More information, just go to the website, abc7chicago.com, and click on More ABC7 on the left margin, not resources. More ABC7, you'll find the Hungry Hound tab there. That'll link you to all my stories and videos, or call the info line, 312-750-7096. And I brought you some food here, dessert. I know Sylvia likes dessert.
Yes, beautiful.
You've got the cheesecake here, caramelized on top, kind of a brulee, if you will, but a cheesecake, raspberries here or strawberries, and then a flourless chocolate cake. Here they've done little rounds for us, so there's a different presentation with a Cabernet Sauvignon around that.
Oh, that's how I do mine too.
You like that, just like that? Yeah, little hearts in the middle there. Isn't it nice?
Just like one.
And like I say, the great thing is it's just a lot of fun.
Right.
It's fun to do in the wintertime.
Take the family, have a good time.
It's indoor activity, and you can do bocce or bowling.
A lot of parties there.
A lot of big parties,
adult parties too.
Yeah, they have a lot of big groups there too. And we've got plenty of space to do it, so.
Great.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Very nice. We'll be right back. Our Hungry Hound has been featuring a different theme every week this month, and for the last week of February, he is focusing on baking.
From the savory items at the Pillsbury Bake-Off that he did earlier this week to some dynamite sweets today. Actually, he's found a brand new cupcake store in Lincoln Park. It has a decidedly retro feel. Here's ABC7's Steve Dolinsky.
Who doesn't get excited about cake and frosting at the cozy Molly's Cupcakes in Lincoln Park? The owners are definitely going for a more retro feel.
Molly was my teacher, and she used to bake us cupcakes, so it's named after her. And in honor of Molly, we donate part of our proceeds to help schools in the community.
The heartfelt good intentions extend to their line of cupcakes, all of which are made in-house several times each day. From the batter to the frosting, everything here is made to order.
We let customers create their own perfect cupcakes, so you can pick one of 4 cake flavors: chocolate, vanilla, red velvet, carrot. And with that, you can combine 5 different frostings. There's brown butter, French butter, cream, vanilla, chocolate, and cream cheese. And you can add toppings like hot fudge, caramel, whipped cream.
While cupcakes are the mainstay here, they also turn out exquisite brownies and chocolate chip cookies. If you don't want to make the full commitment to a large cupcake, you can always try a smaller version. They make about 3 or 4 kinds each day. A more recent development, the stuffed cupcakes, which contain some luscious interiors.
The lemon one is really good. It's cream cheese cake with a lemon curd center and buttercream and a candied lemon on top. So there's a bunch of different center-filled ones that we rotate throughout the week.
The one thing they've learned, people have very specific ideas of what they think makes a proper cupcake.
People are very, very passionate about cupcake.
The other cool flavor here at Molly's is a strawberry shortcake cupcake, which has strawberries inside a vanilla cake, topped with whipped cream, strawberries, and a little vanilla ice cream. Another great retro touch here are these wooden swings at the bar, which really take you back to your childhood. In Lincoln Park, Steve Dolinsky, ABC 7 News.
It looks
Okay,
like
how
he's having
fun,
huh?
That would be hard, though, to take children there with those swings. I might be a little nervous. Looks like
We'll
fun,
go.
though. Yeah,
All
looks
right.
like fun.
And by the way, Steve found another nearby cupcake store that he says is worth checking out. It's called Swirls, where they now have great retro flavors, including PB&J, malted milkshake, also s'mores. Here's all of the information. There's Molly's Cupcakes. That's at 2536 North Clark Street. Their phone number is 773-883-7220. And Swirls is at 705 West Belden Avenue. Their phone number there on your screen is 773-404-2253. If you'd like more information, remember you can always go to our website at abc7chicago.com. Now, you have to click on More ABC7 on the left margin, and then the Hungry Hound tab will pop up. And that will link you to all of Steve's stories and his videos. And, of course, you can call his info line at 312-750-7096. Even though Steven's in here, he's wonderful. He made sure we have cookies and cupcakes.
How pretty that
look at
is.
this. Isn't this gorgeous? And this is great. Those little mini ones, you can eat more.
You can eat 6 of those instead of one of the big ones, right? Yeah.
Or look at this giant chocolate chip cookie.
Good and moist.
Yum.
Very fun. What a great find.
It really
Thanks,
is.
Steve, wherever you are. And coming up tonight on the 10 o'clock news, Steve is going to take a closer look at some tasty treats that come in small packages, from Colombian empanadas to Russian hachapuri, an exploration of some delicious pockets filled with all kinds of tasty options. It is his Friday night special tonight at 10.
Those look good too. We must be hungry.
Our Hungry Hound has a tale of 2 Jerrys this week, and neither of them involves a Taft, because sometimes it does.
Because he likes to eat a lot now. But Steve begins with a visit to a one-of-a-kind sandwich shop where there are hundreds of permutations, and the only limit is your own imagination. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with details. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yes, you know, for the last couple of years, lunchtime crowds downtown have been heading over to West Madison for a quick sandwich fix at Jerry's. But a few months ago, they expanded the operation to Wicker Park, setting up a much fancier atmosphere, complete with fireplace and full-service bar. Now, the focus is still on the sandwiches, though, which range from simple to sublime. Since when did sandwich making become an art? Ever since the second Jerry's opened in Wicker Park. Long a favorite in West Town, this newer version has an expanded menu and more creature comforts than the original.
Well, here I think the biggest difference was we do a great lunch business on Madison, but it's not really any place people want to go for dinner. I mean, people come, they take out sandwiches. Our feeling was people would eat our food at dinner if we gave them a nice place to eat, and liquor and beer and wine, and you know, that's proven to be the case.
The options are endless. Take a look at the weaponry. Drawers of assorted cured and fresh meats, imported and domestic cheeses, condiments to concoct any variation, and an assortment of breads that would make any bakery jealous. There's also a full arsenal of sauces, aiolis, and mayos for extra flavor.
He decided, you know, we do all these really cool things. Let's do something, you know, nobody's done. Anything you can eat, you can put it between 2 pieces of bread. So
a few highlights include the Diego R, grilled steak, avocado, cilantro, and cheddar on pumpernickel bread that's been slathered with chipotle chutney and adobo sauce. Warm sandwich highlights include a southern fried chicken that's first marinated in buttermilk. Sliced pickles and American cheese are aided by ketchup, mayo, and hot sauce, and it comes on your choice of bread. A recent special included grilled tuna stacked with fresh avocado, cucumbers, and feta cheese. A little wasabi mayo ramps up the otherwise bland tuna. Even vegetarians have plenty to choose from. There's ample amount of hummus, asparagus, and portobellos to plant a garden. About a dozen sides only add to the dilemma. You get to choose from among mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, a vinegary cucumber salad, or simple pasta. Friedler says the staff has slowly improved, helping customers navigate the daunting number of potential sandwich options.
we've gotten pretty good at putting the combinations together.
Not only does the new location have comfier seating and more space than the original, they also have live music on the weekends. And here's the information. Jerry's Sandwiches, 1938 West Division, 773-235-1006. Also, 1045 West Madison, 312-563-1008. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Just click on the More ABC7 on the left side. You'll see the Hungry Hound tab there. That links you to all my stories and videos. Or call the info line, 312-750-7096, and brought you a couple different ones here.
Okay.
Over here on the dark pumpernickel is the Diego R. This is steak, avocado, cilantro, cheddar, chipotle chutney.
It's that chipotle chutney.
And a little adobo
really,
sauce. A little nice little kick there, yeah. Little
Nice,
sides
nice,
of potato
nice.
salad and coleslaw. And then over here, this is the Leon T, obviously named for friends, family, and cooks. Hummus, grilled asparagus, Swiss, lemon mayo, portobello on multigrain. But again, you could create one of
whatever you want.
Hundreds. I mean, I love brioche.
I'm touching this so I can have it.
You can have it. It's yours? Okay. But the brioche buns are great. Yeah, I'll take that one there.
We already ate half of that
Oh, you
one.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, lots of good choices.
Very nice.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll be right back. We keep eating in the meantime.
Okay.
Nation. Our Hungry Hound is celebrating a Cuban culinary icon today.
It's very good, but he's also got a treat for Tracy. That's why she's here celebrating her birthday this month. Are we supposed to know that?
It's the whole month. Happy birthday.
It's
It's
the
the whole month.
Right, we're celebrating it
Party
now.
girl.
Now, all of it comes together at a sandwich joint where they are churning them out by the hundreds every day. Steve joins us now with details. Steve.
I'm going to get Tracy to try this. I really want to get her to try this. Now, as I was sampling some delicious Cuban sandwiches in West Logan Square, I was introduced to a Cuban original that made me think of Tracy. As many of us know around here, her favorite dish is a grilled cheese. So in addition to bringing back some of those Cubans, I also brought the three of you something called a timba, essentially a grilled cheese with a Cuban accent.
As surely as there's a Castro still in power, the island nation's favorite sandwich has never changed. At El Cubanito, a postage stamp-sized sandwich joint on the western edge of Logan Square, the Cuban rules.
The Cuban sandwich is the bread, ham, cheese, and roast pork. In one side the bread, a little butter. In one side the bread, a little mosta and pickles. Put in the grill. Everybody coming for Cuban sandwich.
Pressing the sandwich panini style is certainly part of the appeal, but so too is the fact they roast their own pork shoulder every day in what is undoubtedly the smallest kitchen anywhere. That roasted pork is combined with buttered bread that also holds together smoked ham, mustard, and pickles, plus a little Swiss cheese. Once grilled, the flavors and textures meld beautifully.
It's important because it's my culture. In Chicago, they are a little people Cuban, but everybody from Cuba coming here because everybody want to see Cuban sandwich because it's important, original.
Another version contains finely chopped steak instead of pork and ham. It's got cheese, but also more standard lettuce and tomatoes topped with shoestring potatoes. A rare find is the meatless timba, a Cuban favorite with just 2 ingredients, Swiss cheese and a fruity guava paste. It's the ultimate Cuban grilled cheese, fueling an American dream.
When we came to this country 4 years ago, we got a dream, made our own business and our own restaurant. So we start to work very hard to save some money and start to do it. And 11 months ago, we got our results right now.
A bracing café con leche or espresso goes great with any sandwich. Ramos says of the half dozen or so options on his menu, the bulk of the orders are easy to predict. Mostly Cuban, mostly timba, mostly steak?
Mostly steak and Cuban.
So good. Be forewarned, the lines form early as many workers drop by to get a sandwich for their lunch hour, and there are only 2 stools to sit at the counter, so most folks just get them to go or eat them in their cars. And here's the information. El Cubanito, 2555 North Pulaski, 773-235-2555. More information on the website, abc7chicago.com. Just click on More ABC7 on the left side. You'll see the Hungry Hound tab there. That links you to all my stories and videos. Or, very easy, just call the info line, 312-750-7096. And the timba that I brought you...
Communal cooking. But he's found a brand new hot pot restaurant in the northwest suburbs with a more Korean accent. And Steve Delinsky joins us now with details. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Jose and Sylvia. I'm glad you're going to enjoy this one, I think. Now, hot pot cooking is typically done around one communal bowl. Diners dip their veggies, meats, or seafood into hot broth, then have a few choices for dipping sauces. It's essentially Asian fondue, but a new option in Niles takes a more individual approach to the concept of shabu shabu, and it's introducing diners to some tasty new options.
Every meal becomes a participatory event at the brand new Shabu House located in a Niles strip mall. Typically, it's a Japanese version of hot pot, but here, there's more of a Korean accent.
Well, shabu shabu is it's a form of cooking that was created during the time of Genghis Khan during the 13th century.
Every diner here has their own personal cooking pot. You begin with a choice of either chicken broth or one made from kelp, a type of seaweed. Just hit the button to turn on the heat and you're off, dipping at will.
One will be beef, if you want just beef, or there's also seafood choices that you can get, or the combination of both. If we're vegetarian, we also have the vegetarian, which comes with a lot of mushrooms.
Vegetables certainly help. They also flavor the broth for a treat that comes later in the meal.
The zucchini and napa cabbages and carrots and all those different types of mushroom that comes in there also makes it very delicious.
Cooking the thinly sliced ribeye takes just seconds, about the time it takes to say shabu shabu. Then you get to dip it into a choice of 3 dipping sauces.
We have the spicy sauce, the sesame or peanut sauce, and also the apple ponchu sauce.
Homemade dumplings are also available to nibble on, and once you've finished up your beef or seafood cooking, they'll bring out some white rice, finely chopped carrot and zucchini, and then crack an egg into the well-seasoned broth. The result is something like a rice porridge.
We're making kind of a risotto, I guess. We just put some carrots and some zucchini and some rice, and we mix it with egg, and the soup that you already have on there, the broth, which has, of course, for the flavoring that you already put in.
Koreans love sweet potatoes, so no surprise to see some caramelized nuggets for dessert. Another option is the coconut custard stuffed kabocha squash. Park says the entire dining experience will come as a pleasant surprise to first-timers.
That's the whole idea. It's fun, and it's good, and it's unique. It's different. Having your own set of soup to cook into.
You don't even have to know how to use chopsticks because you also get long, narrow forks to help you dip and cook, which is great for younger diners. Incidentally, the strip mall that Shabu House is located in has some outstanding ethnic dining options, including a pretty good-looking Indian joint. Now, here's the information. Shabu House, 8257 West Gulf Road in Niles. A bit hard to find. It's kind of off Gulf Road. 847-470-1700. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. You'll find the Hungry Hound tab there. That links you to all my stories and videos, or call the info line 312-750-7096. And I brought you guys a couple of traditional snacks. Obviously, we can't transport the hot pot here. Now, the interesting thing is that every seating position has its own hot pot at the restaurant, which is really cool. Your own personal hot pot. I brought you a couple of snacks here. Now, this first one, this is actually kind of a dessert here. It's called pas. It's sweet potatoes, but they're almost caramelized. And this company in Korea actually sells the glaze or coating that goes on this makes it pas. And then just some snacks here. Great homemade mandu, traditional dumplings here with pork and vegetables, or over here a little kimchi and vegetable. Kimchi, just of course the little spicy radish. I'm doing a story on kimchi.
I never had kimchi wrapped in this before.
I never had it either. Very interesting mandu too. Yeah, different than a Chinese hot pot we've had in Chinatown or a Japanese hot pot I've had in Arlington Heights. Very different.
Oh, these potatoes are delicious.
Potatoes are great. Potatoes are great. Now, coming up tonight at 10, very interesting. We're going to stick with the Korean culture, but we're moving into a completely different category, fried chicken. There is a long history of crispy, sweet, and spicy, sticky fried chicken from Korea. Now, 3 new options have opened in the Chicago area. It is a world away from the Colonel's secret blend of 7 herbs and spices. It is also my Friday night special, tonight at 10, topped with sesame seeds, either brushed with garlic and a little bit of oil, or chili sauce, kind of more of a buffalo style. There's one with sort of a sticky, sweet soy, garlic, ginger. Oh, it's really good fried chicken.
Do you need a field producer?
I was going to say,
I can always use
This guy can
help.
eat, too. He's a great eater. You make it look so yummy. Thank you. It's really, really great. We're going to be right back. Did you by any chance go? Neighborhood today, where there is quite a cafe culture going on.
Because there's great coffee drinks, homemade Mexican and Latino cuisine, plenty of local art on the walls, most of which is for sale. Steve Dolinsky joins us now with details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. Yeah, you know, when I was walking around Pilsen recently, it kind of reminded me of Wicker Park about 10 years ago. The bohemian coffee shops are really unique, all independently owned, and each has its own unique style and menu. We popped into 3 Pilsen cafes this week, where no one leaves hungry and there's still plenty of change left in your pocket.
The vibe is laid back and casual at the tiny Cafe Aorta just off the main drag of 18th Street. Local art adorns the walls, and on the plate, it's a mix of American and Caribbean fare.
As we would say, todo mundo, which means the total world. We have very aspects of food, from vegan to you name it. So everything is healthy. We only use olive oil, no butter.
The Havana hot plate is overloaded with steak, garlicky yuca, red beans, and rice, while a Cuban sandwich is stacked with ham and chunks of roasted pork. A veggie-friendly penne pasta contains tofu meatballs that hold their own. Even the jibarito sandwich gets a healthy makeover.
I use a multi-grain bread instead of traditional platanos, which is normally dried out and marinated in garlic. But you have something a little bit more healthy, but with that own flavor.
Desserts are a strong suit. Wheatgrass coconut cake tastes much better than it sounds. A crushed red velvet cake is aided by a drizzle of chocolate, and Perez's Angel sweet potato pie is low in sugar, high in flavor.
We're about healthy and happiness and very good eating.
A few blocks away, Cafe Mestizo has a tiny menu and some knockout coffee drinks, including a Cafe Azteca containing espresso, Mexican spiced hot chocolate, and cinnamon. Homemade Oaxacan tamales are not to be missed, and if any of the artwork strikes a chord, most of it is for sale. The granddaddy in Pilsen is still Cafe Jumping Bean. This coffee house and gallery exudes a local vibe, whipping up addictive hot chocolate and espresso drinks, plus very good turkey focaccia and chicken salad sandwiches.
We were the first here 14 years ago, and we brought the idea of a coffee shop to Pilsen, and people sort of freaked out. And then they sort of got, wow, this is a good thing to have. You know, people come, have a cup of coffee, relax, talk, play a game of chess, you know, whatever.
If you had to pick one drink, the Choco Espresso is the way to go. Mexican hot chocolate with espresso. It's their version of a mocha. Delgado says he keeps prices low. Nothing tops $6 here, thanks to an expanding clientele.
We've seen a lot more students coming from the university. There's more people out later in the evenings. There's a lot of more business, more diverse business opening up in the neighborhood.
Another great find is Tianguis, a combination tea shop Latin bookstore where you can pick up a Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel and a range of hot and cold loose leaf teas. And here's the information. Cafe Mestizo, 1646 West 18th Street, 312-421-5920. Cafe Jumping Bean, 1439 West 18th Street, 312-455-0019. And then Cafe Aorta, 2002 West 21st Street, 312-738-2002. And finally, Tianguis, 2003 South Damon, that's right around the corner there, 312-492-8350. Of course, all the information on the website, abc7chicago.com. You click on More ABC7 left side, you see the Hungry Hound tab there. That links you to all the stories and videos that we do. And then, or it's very easy if you don't have a computer, just call the info line, 312-750-7096. Brought you things from Aorta and from Jumping Bean. You've done a very good job so far, I might say.
We have, haven't we?
Okay, so from Aorta, this is their Cuban sandwich. A little different than a typical Cuban.
Hungry Hound always appreciates a good sandwich. Wait till you see this, especially, he says, if it's heated.
And comes on great bread and has cheese and perhaps an egg over the top. He says he's found the ultimate croque madame. And Steve Dolinsky joins us now with more details. Hey, Steve.
Yes, hey, Judy and Sylvia. This is a good one. Now, in France, the croque monsieur is simply a ham and cheese, but a croque madame has the addition of a fried egg, and it's rare in Chicago. However, a new French brasserie has a dynamite croque madame on its lunch menu, and it happens to be one of the better knife and fork sandwiches in town.
It is simple yet sublime. Some call it a ham and cheese. That's a croque monsieur, actually. At Brasserie Ruhlmann, which occupies the ground floor of the old Montgomery Ward's headquarters, the croque madame is the sandwich to get.
A croque madame is a croque monsieur with an egg on. That's it.
And the difference is critical. Delouvier begins with sturdy country bread, slathered with a bit of melted butter. He then adds a slice of Swiss cheese and some sliced ham, arranging it on the bread. A second piece of cheese goes over that, and the sandwich is topped off with bread. Into a skillet with a little clarified butter, just to brown the bottom, he adds a thick bechamel sauce based on what's called a roux, essentially equal parts flour and butter.
A bechamel is milk, flour, and butter. We make a roux, put the milk on top of it, and it's a little bit of onion inside. It's nutmeg a little bit, and that's the bechamel. It's pretty thick.
A little grated Swiss cheese goes on top, then it's into a 420-degree oven for 3 minutes.
So inside it's a slice of Swiss cheese, ham, cheese, between two slices of bread, the bechamel, and grated sweet cheese on top.
Directly from the oven, the crusts are cut off. Then the sandwich is placed into a broiler, which browns up the top layer of cheese. Finally, the crucial part, an egg is fried in a skillet, and after the sandwich is sliced in half and plated, it is crowned with the cooked egg, dusted with a bit of freshly cracked pepper. At the table, the real drama occurs when you dig into this knife and fork sandwich and witness the running of the yolk, paired with golden crisp French fries. It's a lunch fit for a monsieur or madame.
I see that in a brasserie outside on the terrace in Paris or big city in France or in New York or in Chicago, for instance.
Now, even though they didn't play a starring role in my story, the frites that come with the sandwich,
They should have.
unbelievable. They take 3 days to make, I just found out. So here's the information. Brasserie Ruhlmann, 500 West Superior, 312-494-1900. More information on our website, abc7chicago.com. Click on More ABC7 on the left side. That, you'll see the Hungry Hound tab. You'll link to all of my stories and videos, or call the info line, 312-750-7096. and they brought us a couple of freshly made croque madames.
Take a look at this.
Now here's the key. At the table, you got to cut into this baby, and you get the egg yolk going, and you mix it up there with the bread and the ham and the cheese, and you can dip your frites into the egg if you want.
So you want it a little messy.
You want it a little messy. It's a knife and fork sandwich. It is not. You're not going to eat this with your hands. Really.
It's beautiful. Okay, let's get back to these French fries.
Yeah.
3 days to make them?
Yeah, they've got well, they cut them and then they soak them in water. It leaches out the starch to get them really crisp, and they par fry them, and then they fry them a second time right before service. They're really crispy there, and I guess they have a special farm in Idaho that gets these for these guys. So yeah.
Okay, these fries are just even more. This is delicious, but this is worth it to go. These are incredible.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Now I know what a croque madame is.
Croque madame.
Yes. Okay, we'll be right back. Boris, so far we've been to Mexico and France.
But today he's checking out a Japanese bowl of warmth. It's the ideal remedy on a day such as today. And Steve Dolinsky joins us now with the details. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Linda and Sylvia. It got perfect for a weekend like this weekend. Now, long before food movies like Eat, Drink, Man, Woman or Big Night, there was tempopo. It was essentially an ode to the perfect bowl of ramen noodle soup. One local family loved the movie so much they named their restaurant after it. And good thing for all of us, they've pretty much nailed the key elements to a great bowl of ramen. Don't let its size fool you. Tempopo may be one of many small Japanese restaurants along Lincoln Avenue in the Arcadia Terrace neighborhood, but its ramen is top-notch. The secret is the owner's mom. Even though she's Korean, she learned from a Japanese chef.
She used to work in another restaurant. They're closed now, but just before they closed, my mom asked, the owner if he could teach us everything about, ramen and noodles and things like that. And, well, since he figured they're going to be closing, so they decided to teach us everything.
The traditional chashu ramen begins with a dark soy-inspired broth poured over boiled egg noodles, then topped with hefty slices of cooked pork seasoned with ginger. Crunchy, fresh bamboo is added to the soup, as are freshly chopped scallions. The tempopo bowl is a bit more unconventional, loaded with hunks of seafood, napa cabbage, carrots, and bean sprouts. It's boiled briefly, covered by a makeshift wooden lid. Meanwhile, the ramen noodles are added to boiling water to cook for just a minute or two. A slightly beaten egg is added to the seafood broth, giving it some added richness, along with a shot of sesame oil. The cooked noodles go into the bowl first, then the delicious seafood vegetable broth is ladled over the top. It's a meal unto itself. Cho says there are 2 keys to making great ramen.
I definitely think it's the soup and the noodle. Yeah. Well, the noodle can't be, you can't cook it for too long where it becomes soggy. And the soup, definitely the soup too.
They serve much more than just ramen at Tempopo, including lots of cooked items and sushi. Now, incidentally, one of my other favorite food movies made the same year as Tempopo, Babette's Feast, well worth a rental. Here's the information. Tempopo, 5665 North Lincoln, 773-561-2277. More info on the website, abc7chicago.com. Click on Resources on the left margin. You'll find the Hungry Hound tab there. Click on that for links to all of my stories and videos, or call the info line 312-750-7096. Brought you 2 different ramens here. We've got the chashu ramen with, I love this fresh bamboo on here too. Nice and crunchy, really good. And the pork, ginger-flavored pork. And then over here, their Tempopo ramen, lots of seafood. Beautiful. Again, very good broth. The key, as he said, the broth and the noodles.
Okay, and what is
good.
This again?
That looks like a dumpling, a shrimp dumpling. Okay, lots of good stuff. Now,
yeah, it's very nice.
Tonight we are continuing my monthly series. I'm doing on new and noteworthy places in Chicago with a pair that have connections to some trains. One is beneath the Green Line, the other next to Northwestern Metro lines. From wood-fired thin-crust pizzas and whole-roasted fish to updated American comfort classics. There's the pizza right there. It's my Friday night special. Tonight at 10. So a little bit of Italy, a little bit of America. The best of both worlds, as Miley Cyrus would say. And really good stuff. Whole roasted fish from these wood-burning ovens. This place has 2 ovens, one for pizzas, one for fish and meat.
Where's that? Wow.
It's near the Green Line.
Could you do that at 11 a.m. one day? Can you do that at 11 a.m. one day?
I can do that at 11. All right, we'll figure something out.
Okay.
All right. You missed the Bouillabaisse last Friday.
I heard.
You missed Carne Encendida 2 weeks ago, so I'm trying to take care of you guys.
I know. I appreciate it. This is delicious. Very nice. Very, very nice. There's much more ahead on the news at 11 a.m. The car seat that could save a child's life when the